welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast, not radio. I'm your host, D.
This is Juice.
Boy, Jay.
Yeah, for the week of June 25th, 2017, episode 22. Here we go.
Let's get this toast.
Hey, toast.
On
We're having mango mimosas.
Mango
Yeah, it's not a mimosa, it's a mango mosa.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Stepping up our game.
Stepping it up. You know, since somebody did say we were drinking whack wine, you know, we had to kick it up to the mimosa.
You know.
I'm not sure exactly who said that. How could you say something?
It's DC. You gotta get that brunch on.
Yeah, you know. I told these guys that we should have some fresh fruit next time. You know, cut up some fruit, have some nice cheese cubes.
Little cheese board.
Yeah. Have a little plate, little platter set out for us, man. You know,
serve.
Yeah. Some strawberries, little cottage cheese dip. You know, you need to set it all right with this thing, fellas. So what y'all want to jump into first, man? We're gonna do this movie review.
Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman.
We all saw it, right?
Yeah, we all see it.
Nice. Of course.
It was cool.
Of course.
I can't really say that I was as excited for Wonder Woman because of the fact that I never really wanted to obviously be Wonder Woman when I was younger and I was into the comic books and all that stuff and I really honed my nerd skills, you know. But it was a good movie overall. I mean, I didn't really think it was a world beater, you know. To me, the best movie they came out with in this 4-movie stretch between Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman.
They as
was
a
still
DC
Man of
Comics.
Steel. Yeah, it's a DC Comics.
DC
yes.
Comics. Right. I'm with you on that one. Like, I don't own a single Wonder Woman comic book. And, you know, I was accused of being sexist because I wasn't excited about this movie, right?
It is kind of sexist.
Well, it was just because I didn't think it was...
But I feel you, me too. Because I was just like, I was in there, I was just like, oh, Wonder Woman.
And yet, I went to see it, right? No, I wasn't excited about it. I went to see it, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought they did a good job with the movie. I feel like they developed her character well.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline was good. They had a little twist at the end. Nobody saw coming.
I thought it was
right?
good. She did straight up murder a man on the top of that little tower she was at. She straight up
sword popped
murdered
through the
him.
roof.
Yeah,
Like,
Hmm.
the fuck?
Okay, so Wonder Woman kills.
Oops.
Maybe not Batman.
I mean,
Batman
she's
don't
an
kill.
Amazonian, though. So, I mean, she has to
That's
defend. She's trying to stop a war.
Mhm.
In her mindset, she's stopping a war.
Ares. I don't know. Like,
Oh, yes.
I like-
Spoiler alert, people. We're going to talk about everything.
I did like how he transformed at the end. Because I was like, this can't just be Ares, right? Like, he has he came with the armor and the horns.
I
And
wish we
whatnot.
didn't see his face once he
That was
transformed.
badass.
Yeah, that was cool.
badass.
I didn't want to see his face once he transformed. That little dopey mustache.
Yeah. He was like the same guy. They could have put like
come
a
on.
scar down his face
Right,
or like
you know,
change
like-
his skin color or something. Like,
Make him look cooler. Make
Yeah.
him look menacing.
put
He's
some.
still-
I
I was like, where are your
He didn't have to be
spectacles?
human at that point. He could have just been like,
put some
whatever.
context.
Right,
in
yeah,
it or
he could have been
something,
anything. He's a guy. He could have
Mhm.
literally looked like anything. You expect me to think that this guy was up on Mount Olympus 200,000 years ago with spectacles and a thick sausage mustache? Nah, I don't think so. But
So
I could have
Ares,
sold that a little bit better, I think.
so Ares killed all the guys, and like I'll say, like my
And
judgment for the movie is coming from a place where like I didn't really want to be Wonder Woman. Like I wanted to be Spider-Man, I wanted to be Superman at some point. I thought about being Aquaman and the Flash and all that, but Wonder Woman was kind of on the peripheral, just like okay, she's there, you know.
She's a
but,
girl.
you know, but she's actually one of the most important members of the Justice League. Like
She is.
can go toe to toe with Superman, and she's just Wonder Woman. There's no kryptonite, weakness to her or anything like that, or One thing, I got a couple gripes in the movie. What the hell are her bracers made of? Her bracelets, because she's blocking energy blasts and
Adamantium,
bullets.
what up?
Right,
Yeah, like
yeah,
they
right.
never explained it.
The interdimensional adamantium.
Right? Is it vibranium or something? Like, is it made of the same stuff as Iron Man's shield or Captain America's shield or what?
That's
'Cause,
a good question because they actually don't talk about them. She
At
has
all.
them since she was a little kid, right? They apparently never come off and they tend to grow with her, or maybe she just got powerful wrists.
I
Right?
thought.
Maybe she just got some real powerful wrists, and it doesn't matter what's on them.
Yeah, her wrist tendons is so
Her
ridiculous.
wrist tendons
Yeah.
are reflective.
But yeah, I thought they were going to be like a gift from Zeus or something, like something to tie her.
In the
to
comics, they
Mhm.
are right. In the
Maybe
comics,
that he
they're-
made.
Mhm. Yeah, like something he forged on Mount Olympus.
I think in the comics, I think one of her the reason she has all of her powers, she can fly and all this other stuff, because these were gifts given to her from the different guys. Like in the comic books, I guess I should doesn't need to be clarified. I don't know. Whatever.
That would have been awesome.
In the comic books, the guys are still alive.
Mhm.
There's no Ares didn't kill everybody. Ares is just an asshole, right? Everybody's still around, and her powers, a lot of them come from individual gifts graced by the different guys,
Yeah.
right? So the bracelets, the shield, the lasso, definitely of truth is a thing.
Mhm.
Like all those are gifts from different gods. But
That
they
would've
don't
made
address
sense.
any of that, right? Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't, and they don't explain where the
Mhm.
bracelets come from. And it seems like the lasso was just kind of a thing, like an artifact of their culture.
Yeah,
whatever.
like they didn't explain that either.
And the
Yeah.
sword.
But the thing is, like, I felt that they could have explained a lot of her history a lot
Mhm.
better in the movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because like even towards like the end when she was like fighting with Eric, she's like, "Oh, brother," like blah blah blah, and I was like,
Brother,
"What?" I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, like in that flashback when they
Yeah.
showed the gods on Olympus and like Ares was casting them down and whatnot, they could have had a scene where all the gods were presenting her with a gift. This is how we're going to save ourselves at the end of the day, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you know,
But I
would
think-
explain her origins.
Maybe
and
Wonder
where her
Woman
shit came
Origins is coming out. I don't know.
Oh hell, no.
Too early for that shit.
Yeah, I did like how they tied it into the modern, where the whole movie was kind of a flashback. Like in the beginning, she receives that package from Bruce Wayne. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, this is the same universe as.
Right.
Suicide
place,
Squad
it's a
and all that,
placement.
yeah.
We know where we at. Right?
Mhm.
I wish they, but like I said earlier, I wish they had at the end maybe have used something to push the story a little bit along,
Mhm.
right? Like, yeah, we know what it was, but at the end of the movie, she just kind of jumped into the sky or something.
I think she just closes her laptop. You know, just,
Okay, maybe. All right, yeah. So,
I'm not serious about that. I don't know if she just closes the laptop.
but
she
it
might
would
have
have
jumped
been
into
nice
the sky.
if they.
By that point,
director
Juice was ready to go.
decided-
He was ready to go at that point.
Yeah, I was like, you know what?
No, she did jump. You're right. She did. Jump.
Okay, she jumped.
Okay.
She
All right.
jumps into like the city or something.
But I was like, so where are you going? Did nobody see that? It was kind of weird.
Mhm.
But yeah, they could have
Okay,
pushed
that's
the
the-
story a little bit along. Maybe she had an encounter with Flash.
She
right?
flew away on Nimbus.
Or
That'd
maybe
been cool
she
if
had an
she'd had
encounter
Nimbus.
with
Yeah, exactly. She should have had Nimbus in there.
Nimbus.
Nimbus.
So okay, so so this is obviously more of a heroine for like young girls and women and girl power and all this stuff.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about the whole I guess ideology of how this is supposed to be like girl power or like feminist,
Like
This
a
was-
strong feminist.
Yeah, exactly,
movie.
exactly.
I understand it.
I thought it was. Like I felt like like you have a woman who stands on her own. She's not going to be pushed around, right? She'll break rules if she has to do what she needs to do, and she wears what she wants to wear, and she.
Although that was
she's
sexy as
strong.
hell. That was
Independent
sexy.
woman.
Strong,
Yeah.
Everybody-
independent woman.
Like when she tried to walk out and had a little, she took off her coat, had a little Wonder Woman outfit. I was like, ooh, wow, what's up?
Right.
Hey, But okay, I'm
But
sorry about that.
also heard the opposite, and the opposite was saying that she was dressed. Her dress was too revealing, and it was something that objectified her.
It did make her stand the hell out.
It
but she was
did,
trying to
but at
blend
the
in.
same time though, like
It
it
was-
was stuck with the comic though. Like
It came with the comic, but also felt like as a character, she wore what she wanted to wear. Like even during the time where she was trying to fit in, for a little bit. At the end of the day, she shook all that shit. She was like, "Yeah, this is me doing it for what I need to do it for right now." But at the same time, I'm going to fight. I have a mission.
also,
and this is just me
you think about her
accomplishing my
history.
mission.
She's Amazonian.
Right.
So like really like the fuck she gonna wear pants for? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like they probably just wore like loincloths or whatever. Like
And yeah, exactly. I think along those lines, like they did accomplish the idea of it being a feminist kind of movement because she is out front in the superhero world. I mean, you have
She's a lead.
you have characters like Black Widow and stuff like that from the Marvel universe and different women. The other girl, the Scarlet Witch, that's in Avengers and stuff. But she's the lead woman. She's powerful. She did what she wanted to do the whole movie. And I was watching another review that said, they kind of stood on head all the tropes of a movie. Like she was saving him. Like she was never the one in distress the whole movie. She was saving people. She was stepping out in front to actually do what's right. Like who was the other guy in there? The guy that played Captain Kirk.
Chris Pine.
He never like overshadowed her at all. There was never a moment in the movie where he was more courageous or more heroic. I mean, he sacrificed himself at the end.
Yeah.
Spoilers, but I liked how she was the force of the movie, not him. Nothing that he did. Although I wish her team was a little
did
bit more
like him.
spelled out. You know what I mean? Like I have a problem with her team. Like the sniper guy, he never had a moment to shine.
So he wasn't really good anyway.
I thought he was going to have one moment where he like.
a terrible shooter.
Yeah, but, he was like a drunk and everything the whole movie. I thought he was gonna have a moment where like he stood up at the end.
He
And,
did get to play the piano.
Yeah, he did get to sing.
That's all he
a little
got?
bit. Yeah.
That's all he got?
So wait, another problem I had with another piece of the movie. Like I said, I liked it overall, but on the beach. All right, that beach scene. How the hell did he even get to the island? Was the island hidden? Was it hidden in the mist?
Yeah,
was it interdimensional? They never explained like how he found it.
It's like a cloak.
Yeah, it was like a cloaked island. So he just kind of rolled in there on
cloaked
accident.
The gods?
It was the god. Yeah.
See, this is stuff we have to assume.
Hide them from Ares. But
this is stuff we have to assume. They never mention it.
It was straight luck.
And also, like when there was like a fleet of ships chasing him, right? So I mean, there was like a battle cruiser there and everything. So how did they not come through the ship? Like a couple of the men did, but how did that battle cruiser that was on the ocean not come through the same portal or whatever they came through?
Like an 8 ship came through, right? But not everything.
My assumption is that, like, say that we were, kind of just chilling here, and then Juice walks in through like a dimension, he might disappear into the fog.
I assume y'all niggas would be like, whoa.
I mean, I just don't. I hate when at the end of a movie you have to come to assumptions.
Okay. Decent.
Like for main storylines at the end of movies, I hate when you have to come to assumptions, and they should find a way to explain that within the confines of the movie.
I mean, I think the point that was,
and also don't bring a knife to a gunfight. What are they doing? You know what I mean? They all there on the beach fighting with swords and shields. Hey, it look cool,
that's
but
a good point.
You got one soldier there, he's spraying down the whole beach.
But if you think about it though, like
you can't ride it on horseback, and I got a howitzer on my boat.
If you think about it though, like they've never met the modern man. They've never met like modern technology.
I feel like that's the God's fault. They should have kept him up to date. You can't have magic lassos and not have some way to like. Where's the what do they call that little
a
ballista? Don't they have a ballista or something they can shoot out there or something?
Yeah, like
got some heavy
archers.
Archers,
knock,
draw, loose.
Yeah, right
out there loosing on the beach. Yeah, that soldier was unloosened too. He was letting off 1,000 bullets.
Right.
I didn't like that part. I was like, don't bring a knife to a gunfight, ladies. Come on.
Yeah, it was a little. That was
rough to watch,
badass
though.
But I mean, they still beat him at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I still wish they would explain her bracelets. That was another.
Because even that one explosion on the beach, there was a big. She clipped him and blocked him, and boom, explosion.
Even like when
everybody was like, "You right?"
When it first
nobody
happened,
mentioned that.
Remember when she was training and she did it to the lady who was training her?
Right.
They should have explained it then. Like
when that happened, this is me. If I was there, I would have been like, no, that doesn't happen normally.
Right.
Like
everybody seemed surprised by it, but nobody said anything.
I would have been like, that needs to be explained.
Right.
Like, do I get that? Well, I'm an Amazonian.
Can I do that?
Like, how do we?
And I love that the part at the end we mentioned it earlier how she killed that dude on top of the roof, man. Because honestly, we're speaking in a comic book movie sense, but that's what had to be done at that point. That's what she thought the bad guy was. There was no wait.
With the
let
God
me hold
killer
for a minute. I don't want to do this. I can't do it. She drops her sword. No, she murdered that dude. Like this is what I'm going to do. And
she didn't have a moment of truth. It was like, I shall forgive you. Not like clink.
And that was it. And she was like, why are they not stopping?
That was her mission.
Mm-hmm. She did it
to stop Ares. That guy, and that would have ended the war.
Yeah, that was tight. So, I liked how she did that. There was never a moment where she was not the force in the movie.
Yeah,
and that was cool about it.
So
like she didn't get saved at any point. She didn't get tied up and knocked out. And
so the reason why I even brought up like the whole aspect of like femininity and like the feminist movement and all this other stuff is because I was talking to a good friend of mine and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's okay." And I was like, what? I love the movie, right? So she broke it down. She's like, yeah, it's good, but she didn't like the whole like romantic aspect of Chris Pine, the pilot, and the pilot and her. She was like, look, man,
there was tension there.
She was like, look, this is supposed to be like Amazonian girl power, like not supposed to be super like emotionally involved.
Mm-hmm.
When he died, though, that's when she kind of like Super Saiyan'd out. Mm-hmm. Never mind that she was already pissed off and like super emotional, seeing like children and women and other people getting murdered and whatnot. But it was that defining moment where this man, essentially like the person that she loves or whatever, when he dies, then she gets angry and like rises up. She was like that for her. She didn't like. She was like, look, man, if you're supposed to be like a feminist, if you're supposed to be like a role model for women, this and that, like, why is your only weakness like the love of a man kind of thing? Like, you're supposed to be like a savior. You're supposed to, if you're looking around, you see the the crap of war. You see all these people's bodies, you see children. Like, she was all emotional about that one woman with that in the trenches with the woman and the children. It's like, why are we not saving them?
That was awesome though. When she was like, she was the
only
one who was
like, I'm gonna go up and do something.
So really, like, you're not gonna get mad at like that, but when your like boyfriend or whatever dies, then you rise up. Come on now.
Yeah.
So that was her gripe, and after listening to that and thinking about it, I'm like, man, you know what? Like, Amazonian women, like, they don't need men. They didn't have men in their society.
Which is, how did they reproduce?
Okay,
right?
so
I heard some crazy theory again by Jordan Maxwell that women were actually the first creatures on Earth. The first of man was woman, and how they actually had the ability to reproduce themselves. Now that was some theory that he was throwing out there, along with that. What's the planet name? Nibiru and all that stuff. But it was crazy. It sounded crazy, and I was like, I know. How do you fertilize an egg without sperm? But maybe that has something to do with it, because they never showed how they replenish the ranks.
Historically,
how did they replenish?
So historically, Amazonian women in the Amazon, right? Like, they had their all-female tribe, and essentially, like, once a year or period of time, whatever, right? They would have treaties with other local tribes, and they would have like men come over and kind of repopulate, and then they would leave. So that way they can continue on their tribe. And if it became a male, they would kind of discard the male. But
I think a lot of the women on that island in this movie, for the movie's sake, they were immortal.
That's history.
They were immortal. Like, they were immortal. Like, remember the lady? They fought the guys how many 1,000 years ago?
Yeah, but
and they were all still alive.
Ancestors. Because how did they not remember?
The general was there. Remember, she was one of the heads in the army. It was the lady that got shot on the beach.
They never explained any of this in the movie.
Well, they implied it, I think, but they didn't say it outright that they were immortal. But I think that's all in all what that was.
Okay, another gripe. Where were they at the final battle? I expected the Amazons to come back at some point in the movie. Like, once she left the island, which was in the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie, they were just gone. Like, we never saw them anymore. Like, where are they at in the modern day? Like, I don't know.
Still chilling there?
Did she use any of her worldly possessions now? What was she doing? Was she a bank manager or something like that?
It's like remember, she was walking in?
Yeah.
Did she helping them go back?
Yeah, she's sending them supplies.
Rebuild. Yeah, I thought about that too.
Like, where are they at?
She does.
Yeah, where are they at?
So look,
I can just see like I wonder if she's coming back.
There's a degree of consistency with like the comics, right? As far as I understand, like, yeah, it was what was it the character's name that Chris Pine played? Steve Trevor or something?
Steve Trevor.
So yeah, he was the guy who came, like, if they're talking about the historical like history of the comics, yeah, he came, they met, and he convinced her to leave with him. Like, that's consistent, right? They had a brief romance, right? And then they didn't stay, right? The romance didn't work out. And she went out and she dated Batman and dated Superman, and everybody was just right. She's just out there, She doesn't really go back unless some shit goes down, right? Unless there was ever been like some conflict at home where she had to go home and save her people from usually attacks from the gods. Ares is really the only person she really fights at Themyscira. Like, that's why she would ever really go back. I'm just saying, like, as far as a trope of...
What about Thanksgiving or something?
Did she go home for Christmas?
Yeah, right? Like that's the family.
Hey, little Scarlet. Yeah, but another part of the movie, I think Jay was talking about this with when they had that little romance and stuff like you were saying. I'm glad that they didn't have a moment where they showed him and her getting romantic. I mean, they had that little moment in the town where they were playing the piano. The guy was playing the piano and stuff like that. And they kind of went off on their own in like some own little room, her and Chris Pine. But I'm glad they didn't show that scene, because I think it would have kind of diminished her woman power at that point a little bit.
Her independence.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't, I'm just glad it didn't go there, because we didn't really need to see it.
Yeah. And, I agree.
We kind of understand what happened. Although I do have a question. Do you think they did it? Do you think they did it there? I personally think she would break him. She would break Chris Pine. You can't handle her. You can't handle woman Chris Pine.
It's interesting because I assume they did.
Right? Like, you have to assume they did because the way it was set up.
Yeah, the way it was set up, like, they both went into the room and the door closed and that. Like, to me, it was assumed.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think they did. I don't think Chris Pine could have handled it. She was like, no, Chris Pine, I don't need you. You know what I mean? Just kind of threw Chris Pine off to the wayside. Yeah, it was a good movie, though, overall.
overall, yeah, definitely, I really liked it. I think that my whole gripe was just that little romantic thing. I was like, I get it, man. It's very Hollywood.
I'm glad they didn't.
Hollywood wants a love story. That's why they did it. That's why I think that they threw in that little relationship thing.
But I'm super glad they didn't go there though, because we didn't really need to.
I kind of like the fact that he died at the end, right? So you don't have to worry about him in the future. Like he's not some old dude like Captain America has to deal with what is it, Betty Brand or whatever, who's the old lady and she was still there and he has to go visit her. It's like Wonder Woman's have to deal with that.
So I guess they are immortal because Wonder Woman's still the same age and that was in like the 30s or whatever.
They're old gods.
Definitely, man. Man, there was one point Jay was making, man. Come back to it. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I'd give it a 7.
Question.
7
so wait, there was actually a tribe of Amazonian women in the Amazon who were doing what?
No, well, I mean, it was this. You never heard of the Amazonians?
I didn't know they were real.
Yeah, no, they're totally real, and like, it's just a tribe of women, and they just
in like lived, South America.
Yeah, they lived off the land and everything. And like, okay, for example, like one of the nice little trivial, things I like to tell people is like Amazonian women. A lot of times their right breast was cut off,
really,
or sometimes both of them. Why? Because they use bows and arrows, and it gets caught, and that's how you know a proficient archer.
Dang, that would suck. Can I just drain it a little bit?
But I mean, like that's one of the things that I remember reading.
Yeah, like can I just hold it over here?
That's one thing I remember reading up on, and it was a real.
I remember
thing.
There was
people would ask like how do you populate them? Because otherwise like you have to just die out, right? Give it like 80 years and you guys are done,
exactly.
Right? So what they would do is they would repopulate every couple of years. They would have like tribes that are neighboring tribes and that they would repopulate and then try and produce more females and then. Males, I don't know, they were discarded. I don't know what really happened, but I know that they would just have more females and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
but I don't know about the modern day. But that's just
why didn't they just kill Chris Pine, right? Like, I mean, like I know Wonder Woman jumped in and saved him, but logically, he showed up. Some other soldiers show up. They start shooting and killing everybody on the beach. Chris Pine should have been dead, right? Like, I mean, because they're a tribe of Amazonian women who don't tolerate men,
especially outsiders. Not even just
exactly.
Men.
He showed up. I don't care if you're
cross
exactly. I don't care if your plane crashed. I'm going to kill you too. All these guys showed up after you and just started killing us. You're dead too.
I think it's because something about her, like something about like war. Oh, and then she tried to attribute it to like Ares. She's like, oh, okay, war. Like we have to save him because he's fighting, on our side.
I remember what I wanted to say about based off Jade. Man, I guess we can move on, but isn't that kind of the common theme in like every single movie, especially like sci-fi? Superhero movies, it always comes down to love. Like you saying that was her turning point with the guy.
That's what
sells. Right, it always comes to love. I love you. I have love for humans.
In my opinion, I didn't really like that aspect about Wonder Woman, that whole love thing. But
I thought it was necessary.
Love conquers all. So like when the guy realizes he loves this person, then they'll power up. I got love.
Like they have that in all the heroes, right?
Of course,
so
absolutely.
Batman's got his love interest. Superman's got Lois Lane and Lana. Yeah, Spider-Man's got Gwen Stacy and.
Same
Mary
problem
Jane.
with Superman and Lois Lane. Like, Superman would break Lois, right? He's a super being trying to do something with a human, right? Do you think Chris Pine and Gal Gadot, or Chris Pine and Wonder Woman, I keep saying Chris Pine and Wonder Woman, what was his name? Steve
Trevor.
Do you think they did it in that scene?
I'm
glad they didn't.
I remember.
I thought they did.
I'm glad they didn't.
I thought they did.
It looked like it was implied. I was like, okay.
But it didn't seem like later.
She would have came in, she would have closed the door behind her, she'd have been like, Chris Pine, I'm just going to break you. You can't handle me.
I don't think they did it. I think it was like probably a real awkward situation. He probably tried.
He definitely tried.
He probably tried, and she was like, "What you doing?" And then he was like, "All right," and then they just slept in the same.
He tried to slide in close. She was like, "Sing," and pulled her sword out. What are you doing?
I don't think that actually happened.
She would break him.
I just don't think that happened. He was a nice guy. He was a real nice guy,
Whoa, I thought we were just friends.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. She was like, whoa, what are you doing?
Overall, pretty good movie.
So what is that?
What else are you guys excited for, man? Definitely 7/7/17. We all know the date. That's it. That's the date.
Or Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yo, we gotta talk about
Black Panther. That
Wait a minute.
I kind of didn't get excited off the trailer because they didn't show enough. I wanted to see more.
No,
when I saw it, I was like, show some more. Like,
dude,
see more of this shit.
But it was still good, though.
And they're going to tie it into Marvel. It's going to be like Captain America probably be in it at some point. Man.
The only person who was surprised that Michael B. Jordan looks that cool. He actually looks cool as Killmonger. Like, Killmonger's
whenever you need
but he pulled it off. Yeah, at least in what we saw so far.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you need an action token black guy, that dude always comes up and gets cast.
He does now.
So, like whatever you need, the black dude.
I like that though. I like that he's into the nerdy sci-fi.
And probably
stuff.
Now Chadwick Boseman, the guy who's playing Black Panther, he'll probably be cast like that too, man.
They're gonna be our new Wesley Snipes. You know.
When does it come out?
I don't remember the date.
Yeah,
but it's just 18 though.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
of course.
Man. It looked good.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, man. I know.
They had the memes, yo, like the concession stands.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be just soul food on the concession stand, yo.
I want to see
it's gonna be greens. It's gonna be ham hocks, mac and cheese.
I want to see how
no popcorn for this.
Wakanda looks. You know what I mean? Like, because it's supposed to be like this hidden technological city. Like, I can't wait to see what they do with that.
We saw a little bit of it at the end of Civil War, and that little bit we saw was cool.
You know Marvel's going to kill it. They're going to show some scenes. You're like, oh my God, like how did they stay hidden? You know, like Black Panther has to be able to rival Tony Stark in technology because he's kind of on Captain America's team. You know, as far as with the Civil War thing, and so that'll explain that. You know, how does Captain America and all those guys get their technological support? They get it through Wakanda. You know, so I want to see how that country looks. That's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be a cool movie.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. It's going to be cool.
Definitely coming up.
Justice League looks good.
Spider-Man. Thor Ragnarok comes out. I think the 4
I'm so excited, but I'm watching.
I'm excited. I'm excited only because Civil War happened and all that. I want to see what they were doing during this. You know, like Marvel just killing it right now, man.
I don't like that Benicio del Toro isn't going to be the Collector.
Yeah.
Like, I liked him as a Collector in that one Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
should have carried. What happened? I would love to see Benicio del Toro in that show, just because I like his character, as an actor, right? He's got that mysterious, crazy vibe.
Definitely.
But it's going to be good, though. It's definitely going to be good. Like, if there's one thing you don't worry about with Marvel is whether or not the movie is going to be worth your time.
They make good movies,
right? Like they just do well.
And like when you go to a movie, you go to like escape reality. You know, the elitists would say that they're distracting us with games and entertainments. You know, but if we are going to need a distraction, a movie that pulls you out of your seat and into the movie is great. Wonder Woman actually did that for me. I was into the story. It's just certain things about it I didn't kind of like story wise that they
the cinematography though.
Oh, it looked good.
Yeah,
One thing DC always does, their movies always look kick ass. Like ever since Man of Steel, really. I mean, do you count the Dark Knight trilogy as part of the it is DC universe, but
no, it's not. This is another one.
The only problem I had with those, it's like these movies are more superhero-y, you know? Like the only problem I had with the Dark Knight trilogy was like it was not enough superhero moments in it for me, you know? Like it was like the human story of this man who's turned into a crime fighter, but I wanted to see more of the technology, more of the kick-ass Batman, you know? I feel like we're getting that now with these line movies they got.
You know, the best, like one of the coolest parts about the Justice League trailers is those scenes with Batman. Mm-hmm. You see him flying around, shooting the grappling hook and moving and stuff.
I can't wait
to
see that shit.
That stuff, like that's so reminiscent of like the old school
comic book
TV Batman. Series, you know,
growing up and all that.
When he's just floating around and he's got this grappling hook and he's zipping around and his cape is flying behind him.
Nope, they didn't show Superman in that thing. So like, where the hell is Superman at?
He's dead.
Fortress of Solitude.
He's not dead.
Fortress of Solitude, right? He's got to get
checking emails.
He can't be dead. He's super.
He'll be back. Nah,
I was going over some conversation that we were having before on one cast. We're talking about would Superman be fat if he was like in existence? You know what I mean? Remember that? I was talking to my boy at work about that, Joe, man. It's like he has super metabolism, right? But how does he build muscle? You know,
right?
He's super.
You would literally lift planets.
Yeah, like
what, lift anything.
What can he bench press to bulk himself up? You know, and tone himself out.
It's all like cardio.
Yeah, I guess.
Right?
He just gets like 300-pound barbells and it's like a million reps.
See, I don't think he'd be
super fast. Yeah.
I don't think he'd be fat, but he'd probably be
probably super
emaciated,
right?
Because if you look at the difference between like say extreme joggers and runners versus like bodybuilders,
they're very lean.
Like they're lean.
Yeah.
So I feel like he'd be more lean. Because look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man's really lean. He's not jacked.
No.
I can't wait to see that movie. Hey, fellas. Well, is that enough about Wonder Woman? Overall scores? I give it a 7.
I give it an 8 out of 10.
I give it an 8.
Yeah, it's cool.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice. So, go see it. Still a good movie.
Check it out, man.
but it only has another 2 weeks of shelf life because Spider-Man comes out on 7th. So I guarantee this movie will be forgotten after Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man. You know, the numbers are going to skyrocket through the roof because where all the nerds are going to see it, plus the kids. You know how many kids are going to go see Spider-Man? You know, that movie's going to make $1 billion.
Dress up easy.
That movie's going to make $1 billion.
I'm still bitter about Spider-Man. They totally stole the Miles Morales joke. Straight up, they stole the shit out.
I saw
the whole thing is Miles Morales. The fact that he's in school, his roommate is the fat Hawaiian fellow, right? Like, and they're both nerds, and he's got this huge Lego set, and they're.
Speaking of which, there's a video game.
He's a kid, right? Like the whole thing is messed up.
There's a video game coming out. I forget exactly the name. Spider-Man something. It's following the movie. They always come out with a video game for the movie. And they have a cutscene with the video game where he's going through saving his cranes falling and whatnot. Awesome cinematics. At the end of the cinematic, at the end of the trailer, like this kid is taking pictures of all the stuff that's happening, and one of his friends says, "Miles, come on." And he turns around, and he's Hispanic, and he runs off at the end of the thing. So I don't know if that's going to tie into the movies at all, but I just saw that trailer recently. It was kind of cool. I was like, "Oh, that's Miles Morales," But yeah, it was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of cool. So, yep. All right, fellas. So, you want to jump to another article? Where are we going to go with?
Let's go with Kendrick.
Kendrick. A couple weeks ago was this article dated June 6, 2017. And it's off NewYorkDailyNews.com by Peter Splendorio. This is how you say his name. Kendrick Lamar gets mocked for buying sister a Toyota Camry. Kendrick Lamar bought his sister a silver 2017 Toyota Camry in honor of her recent accomplishment of graduation, and she clearly appreciated the gift.
Class of 2017.
The sedan comes in with a modest price tag, a tick of over $23,000 in its simplest model. Now, he probably got that joint all hooked up for, leather seats
fully
and
loaded.
all that. Exactly. Yeah, come on.
That navigation?
He is Kendrick Lamar. The rapper has a net worth of over $18 million, according to CelebrityNetWorth.com. What do you guys think about that, man? I thought that was kind of ridiculous, and it kind of buys into this whole mentality that we have where if you have the money, you have to show it off and spend it, I saw a picture that really stood out to me. I'm pretty sure we already saw it. And I thought about it when I saw this article, and they had a picture of Bill Gates standing next to, like, Warren Buffett or something like that, right? Y'all know the picture I'm talking about. And the caption underneath was like, over $100 billion in the room, and there's not a Gucci belt anywhere, in the site. And they were just plain clothes.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I can be worth money and not have to show it off. That's not the point of having money, man. That's what black people, especially in this culture, we get the sense that we have to show off how much money. We got to shit on everybody else and show off how much money we have. And that's just stupid.
It's part of the show, though.
It is. It's part of the show. And it's stupid.
Even if you look at the TV show, TV Cribs, like a lot of these houses, they were rented out. They weren't that's true. Yeah, they were just fronting. So, for Kendrick, man, good for you. Because, look, you're teaching. You want to teach your kids, you want to teach your future generations, your fans and whatnot, how to save money. Because if you're gonna be successful, right, you have to have a lot of that financial savviness to that. You don't become successful and then blow your money. Yeah. Because then what? You have no retirement plan. You have no 401k.
What are you going to give to your grandchildren?
On top of that, it's just high school. It's just high school. I get you want to get her a gift. 18. What is she going to do with a BMW, right? What's she going to do with a
Maserati or whatever?
It's going to be more of a hassle for her to own these things when she's just going to college, right? There's going to be way more hassle for her dealing with those things than just having a normal car. Also, on top of that, it's going to make her a target.
Yeah. Also, real talk, man. If she needs to get an oil change or something, right? It's so much easier on a Toyota. If you have a Lamborghini, you can't go to Jiffy Lube for that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
He's thinking practically. He's thinking about his sister. You don't want to get her too flashy of a car, something that he's already bought her a car. That's
it's still a new car.
You know what I'm saying? New car,
brand new.
It's worth more than my car.
I just thought it was crazy, man.
Let's just go with it, man. Everybody chill out.
Stop to get that haterade. You know what I'm saying? Jeez.
Man, I had one page pulled up and it had a list of comments that people were saying about underneath the picture that his sister put on there.
People
are so mean.
Right? People just everybody's out here trying to say some shit that's mean because they think, people are gonna start liking it or people are gonna pay more attention to them. It's just haters thirsty grabs for a drink, right? That's all it is, man.
True.
Like that's all that is. So don't worry about the haters. They're gonna be there
Man,
anyway.
For real, again, man, Kendrick, good for you, man. Good for you.
And you guys know about Chameleonaire? Like you guys seen the story on Chameleonaire? Apparently,
how is Chameleonaire still relevant? I do see his name a lot.
Money wise, that's why. Like so, apparently, the dude's actually at this point a billionaire, right?
Chameleonaire
off of technology. Like he invested his money. He did the smart move.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking about. Like he took his money he got from music. And he will still make music from time to time, but he invested in apps and technology, and now he's billions. Like he's worth billions right now. Like
I do see his name a lot. I see
right.
Chameleonaire comments about this and that. And I'm like, why is he still referred to as Chameleonaire?
He's financially.
If I'm at that
billionaire,
Chameleonaire. Call me Chameleonaire, or use my real name. Call me Jeffrey or something, whatever his name is.
Right, you know. Yeah, they were talking about like the seats at the sports game he was at, and apparently those are like $10,000 seats. But yeah, no doubt, like it's a lot of money. But
dudes will pay a grit for some good sports seats. Like you pay a grit for those, man.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, like, I'm glad to hear that a lot of people are investing though. Like, you know, be frugal.
It was him and another rapper who did the it was some song like a couple years ago. Not to Walk It Out.
I remember all them songs you were talking about. Like Chameleonaire was hitting from probably about 2000 through like 2005, 2006. You know,
but
I remember he was coming out with all these songs.
Mims. Yeah. Remember Mims?
Yep.
So
I got a mixtape with Mims and Ninth Wonder. It's like Mims and Ninth Wonder.
So Mims has this new app out that's going to allow people to start actually making beats on their cell phones.
Oh, that's
like it's actually going to be have the ability to compile entire tracks, entire beats over your cell phone. He's going to change the game with that by itself.
I'm telling you, dog. Everybody be walking around with ringtones of their own beats.
Yeah, right. Exactly, man. Like
I produce this.
And apparently that he's off of that alone. He's running. Like, he's running up there in the billionaire clubs, right?
Awesome though, man. I thought that was a good move by Kendrick. I don't know. It's that mentality of just you have to show off how much money you have is, you know, it's just a stupid mentality to have. I mean, because that picture of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, I'm like, it's ridiculous. I don't even know if it was Warren Buffett. Who else was in that picture? Y'all know the picture I'm talking about though, right? Like the meme. And
yeah,
it was just crazy because I'm like, where's all the Gucci belt? Where's the Lamborghini?
Even look at Steve Jobs.
Exactly.
Like Steve Jobs. Like, look at all of them. Like, those three guys combined,
practical as hell.
Those three combined, their outfits are probably worth like $200 combined. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's crazy.
But they nerds.
That's crazy. Yeah. But that's the idea that America and them, through their companies and holdings, sell to us is that you have to buy this thing to be cool, you know, to be accepted. You have to own this and show that you have that.
Doesn't matter, like,
when they themselves know that that's not true. I don't have to show that I have all this shit. I own half the world, and you don't see a Gucci belt.
Is it a big difference though if you have like a whole bunch of clothes? Like, say you spend all your money on clothes, or you could be the other person who spends all your money on video games, right? It's like, say they have, instead of having $10,000 in cool clothes, they have $10,000 in a video game setup, right? Like, does that make them more fiscally responsible, or they just blowing money still as well?
In a different avenue.
Just in a different avenue. Maybe it's not so flashy in their clothes. Maybe it's not a bling bling necklace, but maybe they have other investments or blow their money on comic books, right? Like they have $10,000 worth of comic books.
I think it's all decadence, but definitely in the clothing industry and the cars, because you can't show off how much money you have to a video game, but you can go buy a $200,000 car, and you pull up, everybody's like, oh my god, look, we'd all look if a $200,000 car pulled up. Like, what the hell
maybe
is that?
like even the idea of a country club,
gonna
right?
pull up on?
Like what more is a country club other than an inept use of your money, right? Like it's just blowing money. Like you have to spend $200 a year going to a country club.
There's a ridiculous neighborhood in Virginia somewhere in Northern Virginia, man. I think it's it's not Montclair. I mean, it's out there towards there. It's like where they have the CIA headquarters was at Langley.
Oh, yeah,
Langley.
yeah.
Somewhere around there, man. What is the name of this place, man? And I was watching a YouTube video of, speaking of country club, they got some big country club where they say that all these senators and whatnot are a part of. Man, I forget the name of this community, but it's crazy. These houses are ridiculous, man. I think they start off at like $1 million, $2 million for a house, man. It's crazy. I just thought of it when you were talking about the country clubs. I mean, it's wild, man. They were talking about the entry price to get to be a member of this club and what you have to go through.
I mean, Fairfax County is one of the richest counties in the United States. So, I mean, we are in a really affluent area.
That was crazy.
Could you imagine if he pulled up with a Toyota like Corolla or whatever though to like the red carpet?
What Kendrick can
you get out the back of a Toyota?
Yeah.
He's in an Uber.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
I mean, you know,
it's part of that.
It's
image,
about
though.
this like class.
It's about selling your image
and how you look riding in this thing.
And for a rapper, like in a way, maybe a lot of that flashy. That's like we said before. It's part of the game, right? Like they have to present that image, right?
Even
because it's part of their brand.
Do you
they're
think
selling.
it's also selling inspiration and motivation? Because if you look at rappers, if you look at like even superstars, you're like your hope is you want to see that Cinderella story. You want to see like, yo, this guy, that's a come up right there.
Made it.
Yeah, he actually made it, right? But if you see some dude who actually made it, but he's wearing like like Converse or whatever, you're like,
did he make it?
Did he make it? Yeah, you doubt that.
So how do you get Django G?
So maybe it's that image. Maybe I don't know. I'm just
even like when 50 Cent filed for bankruptcy like a year or two ago, and he was saying in court that he didn't actually have a lot of that money that he was riding with in the videos. Like he didn't own this mansion that they shot this video in, and he didn't own this car. It's part of the flashiness in the game. And like meanwhile, the executives, the people who give these rappers the money, the people who are signing Kendrick Lamar's checks, probably laughing at him like, yeah, go ahead and spend your money on a chain. Go ahead and spend your money on a car, because we know what true wealth is.
Yeah, exactly.
We have this. We signed
you guys are like, I can't remember what they were calling. Like,
so in that sense, Kendrick Lamar is smart. Chamillionaire is smart. You know what I mean? Use the money that they're giving you to reinvest and make more money.
Shaq does that.
These guys are laughing at you.
He reinvests. But it reminds me of like, I don't know why it came up to me, but it reminds me of like the Titanic, where like some of the people who just inherited money, they're called new money or new blood.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, they're very lavish. But then like all the people who know better, who've been in the game for a lot longer, they're like
earn their money.
Yeah,
right?
they're like, what you idiots.
Yep.
So.
It's a bit of maturity. Like it turns out there's maturity in wealth.
Exactly. No, absolutely.
And having money, right?
And also in acquiring it, maybe you don't have such a lavish taste as if you were born into it.
Oh yeah,
I think like if all of us came up on a $2 million check, we're not just gonna go blow the whole shit on whatever.
We know better because we
know better. We've been at the point where we have no money, so we be smart with it. And,
But okay, so like when it comes to like absurdities of like spending money, I remember reading about this company out there. I'm not gonna give shout out to their name because I don't remember. I don't support it anyways. But they actually have like you can buy bottles of like Cristal or like whatever high end like bottles you want, right? But it's over the phone. So you call them. Essentially, you call me, and I tell you, hey, what do you want? Oh, I want a bottle of Grey Goose or whatever. It's super high up, right? I'll open it. I'll pour it down the drain for you, and then you just listen to it being poured out, or I'll send you a video of it being poured out because this is showing that extravagant wealth. The fact
how much money you have.
I could pour it myself.
The fact that this service exists, though, that's sick. That's too much. Yeah,
it was some stuff I was watching on.
But if you guys are hiring, though, let me know.
Yeah, it's probably a decadent ass service.
Like Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast will advertise for you.
I saw some video with the rapper
like,
2 Chainz. And what's it called? Too Rich to Buy or Most Expensive Shit.
Most Expensive Shit. I love that shit.
Did we watch the one with the water? Did I watch that?
Yeah.
Man, that was crazy. Like that service, like a specialized
like
water.
Diamond water?
Yeah, like what the hell? So like they condensed the water, then re-put it the water, then recondensed it.
He was like, you know what? I'm going to stick with Aquafina.
He was like, this is about $3,000 a bottle. I was like, what? For water? That's crazy. That's ridiculous, man. These people have crazy services.
He's actually pretty smart though, because like they also had the most expensive martini, which was like $100,000. He was like, "Come on now. First of all, most of that is with a diamond that's put in there. You know what I'm saying? That I get to keep. But that's stupid." He was like, "How much is it really? Like diamond infused like vodka? Come on,
like fine infused. You just put a diamond in
it.
I go spend $20 to get drunker than that martini.
Like, look, man. So we're gonna talk about extravagance, luxury, and all this stuff. Like, in my opinion, like. For business owners out there, if you put diamonds or gold on something, it doesn't make things better. All right, like to me, it doesn't.
It does infuse the maybe not with the diamonds, but
it
the
does
gold.
If you use the word infused,
or it infuses the value of it because of that natural resource that's on it. That's like, where the value comes.
Because, like for example, they have like sometimes food, like the most expensive sundae
or the most expensive burger.
Right?
He had the gold dust on his
you
finger,
add
like
a little bit of
gold
gold dust, you add a little bit of gold flakes. Like, come on now, nah.
He had gold crumbs on his fingertips. He's like, look at this. He started licking off the gold.
That's probably nasty, man. I'm sorry.
Dude, I would lick my fingers.
I would definitely
I'm
taste
not
that
wasting
burger.
that. Or like $2,000 pizza because it has gold flakes on top.
Putting my fingers in a baggie. Roll
Right.
that shit up into a nugget later.
I'm gonna collect it.
Melt that joint down.
I'm gonna remelt that
I have a
down.
nugget.
But like, no, seriously, man. Like, just because you sprinkle like gold or like diamonds, come on, that doesn't do shit for me.
Yeah.
That's because you're normal.
We don't live in
but
decadence.
rich people, I think psychologically, like people who are extravagantly rich and have so much money, they don't think like we do. Like they're not normal, right? So $1 million to them is something they would drop on the street and be like, I'm not going to pick that
just
up.
because they can.
Right, just because they can, right? So you got to think about it. Like, they don't think like we do. They're not.
Could you imagine going like to the Keys for the weekend or somewhere and having $1 million budget? Like, I don't even know what that would be like, man. Like, you know, like you could have a nice vacation without spending $1 million, but that's what some of these people go through in a weekend. You know what I mean? Like, probably not even $1 million. I mean, it's probably more than that. Man. It's ridiculous. Like I don't think we can fathom what they do with that money.
People, right?
Right? I mean, that's what I was talking about with these
spend
sports.
$1 million. How?
That's what I was talking about with these sports owners, man. They have money tied up in these teams, and they just spend it on people. They spend it on their labor and the use of their bodies, and then it's a game for them. It's a game, you know. And maybe that's how, you know. Meanwhile, the fans are mad. We're emotionally upset about it, but to the owners, to the people who run the organization, it's a game. You know, these guys, they get injured. Okay, we'll bring somebody else in. You know, like they run through human capital, and just,
like you were saying that they're so, to them it's nothing, but we're
nothing.
so like emotionally involved because it's so
our image is wrapped
up.
Tying this in with Kendrick, our image is wrapped up in what we can buy. Meanwhile, the car manufacturers themselves are the ones who are spending that $1 million in a weekend. You know, they don't. There's classes to it. You know.
Let's use a sports analogy. Let's segue to this Kaepernick topic.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, it's a good segue. Dang, look at you.
Hey, but
you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you guys have heard, but Kaepernick just released a statement saying, and it says this. I'm just gonna read the statement he released. Okay. So, quote Kaepernick. I have made my decision. I will not be participating in this organization called the NFL anymore. They don't value what I stand for. So I must leave because my activism, the love I have for my people, and most importantly, building these kids' minds with confidence and love for self means more to me than any Super Bowl ring. I want black kids to see me and think, okay, he's carrying himself as a black man, and that's how a black man should carry himself. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. So I think part of the controversy, and if I understand this correctly, part of the controversy was that Kaepernick wasn't getting any offers. Was that it? Because I don't follow sports that closely. That's what I heard. I heard that you're gonna have to tell me on this.
That's what I heard. I heard that actually no one really wanted to sign him. Mm-hmm. So then he was like, "Well, fuck you guys, I don't want to."
Because of his stance, right? Yeah. So he's like, well, fine.
Actually,
I'm going to choose my activism over this NFL.
Maybe not so much of his stance, but like RG3, we all know RG3 because that year he had. Mm-hmm. He's the same kind of a quarterback as Colin Kaepernick. He was like a hybrid. So he was a pocket passer, meaning he'll drop back 6-7 steps and throw, or he could get out on the edge and run. Kaepernick was fast like that, you know. Mm-hmm. And you notice the correlation between both the guys. They're both African American quarterbacks, you know. So they can get out, they can run. You know, they're fast. They're faster than the typical, you know, quote unquote white quarterback. You know, so they had that dual threat there. But at the same time, Kaepernick wasn't really productive in the quarterback position. So even before his stance that he took last year about all the recent police shootings and him not wanting to stand for the national anthem, which is totally fine. I'm totally on his side. You know, somebody pointed out we don't stand up at home. You know, so why does he have to stand up at the game? You know, he has to stand up because he's there. He's standing up because
I stand every time.
He's standing up because he's expected to. You know, and when he doesn't, it draws attention. Well, why are you not saluting our flag? But But I mean, really, honestly, he wasn't really as productive. So he probably wasn't going to be high touting for him to be signed. Was his ranking
bad though? Like, because I don't think, from what I've heard, his ranking wasn't great. Like you're saying, like it definitely wasn't like top. Like he was second string, right?
The NFL, like but
he's not.
If you look at some of these games, man, it really is like the NFL in particular, it really is like chess. I mean, you have 11 pieces on each side. How many pieces you have in chess? 12? It might be more than that. I don't even know. Man, it's been so many years since I played chess, man. I remember I beat my ex-girlfriend's dad at a game of chess, man. I was so proud of myself, man. I couldn't believe it, man. But anyway, so it really is like chess. I mean, so if you don't have a certain piece in a certain position, the play is not going to work, and I think that's why it draws so much attention. He wasn't good at setting people up and getting them in the right place. You know, he wasn't good at dropping back and throwing. I mean, he got benched a couple times. They put him on in the NFL, man. It's really a short shelf life, you know, which is, I mean, honestly, I don't think this sport might be around in 50 years because they run through guys like no other sport. I mean, it really is like, I mean, a guy gets injured, get the next guy in there, you know, and that other guy who got injured may never be the same again. The injury rate is 100%. You can get injured. It's not if you're going to get injured, it's when.
Just when.
So that would be concussion.
Concussions, even if you don't have a broken knee, a sore knee, your knee sore, you strained it, your ankle, your elbow, your finger, your toe, you know what I mean? Like you get hurt. So and they run through these guys like, I mean, like it is nothing, man. And
they're buying people.
You know, Colin Kaepernick, as strong as his stance was, and he garnered a lot of attention because he played the quarterback position. Strong as his stance was, he's not bigger than the monster that's the NFL, and you know, he might retire due to whatever reasons, but it's a drop in the bucket, man. Like, it really is a drop in the bucket. They're going to get somebody else in there.
Well, do you think...
Win or lose, the fans are going to go on.
So it's definitely a good point that, you know, this isn't going to affect the NFL whatsoever. But what do you think people see? Like, I had a friend who wrote you...
It might not affect the NFL, but will it affect
how people view the NFL? Will it affect the movement, and will it affect how people view the NFL? Because I've had a friend already say that, look, because of how they've decided to treat Kaepernick, and we have to admit this is a decision, right? When they weren't, even despite his ranking, right, despite his record, like we all agree he wasn't the worst, and they've signed people who are worse than him. So you have to. So at that question is like, do you think this will affect the way people have viewed the NFL? I know personally, and I'm not a big fan of the NFL, but I realize like. Yeah, this is definitely something that the NFL will do. Like, they don't want to have anybody
controversy.
They don't want you to rock the boat.
Controversy.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't want
rocking the boat.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't just go for Kaepernick. That goes for everybody. Look at Ray Rice. He never got signed. Ray Rice was healthy. You know, like he wasn't injured or.
What did he do?
He hit his girlfriend in the elevator and dropped her out. Like you see when that elevator door opened up and she just fell out. I was like, oh, bro. I was like, Ray, come on, man. You can't sucker punch your girlfriend. Not really sucker punch because she rushed him. Don't rush him.
But is that the same?
Don't rush a guy who's trained to stiff arm people. I mean, that's what he did, you know.
But that's not the same as.
But
not
see that image. Anthem, right? That image is. Well, I'm talking about in the sense that he could play. He was controversial. They don't want to deal with controversy, you know. They don't want anybody to come in and rock the boat. Colin Kaepernick, I applaud him for what he did because he started a movement. I mean, there were other players who are getting signed in the NFL who didn't stand last year following Colin Kaepernick.
Do you think he
the problem with Kaepernick is he's not very good at his position. He's just not. And like at the quarterback spot, you need somebody who can throw from the pocket. He wasn't accurate that way. I don't think he was going to get much interest even if he didn't stand last year. If he didn't have any of this stuff going on, I don't think there would have been much interest for him because he's the same kind of class as RG3. RG3 had one team that he went to last year. It was the Cleveland Browns. He played 2 games, got injured. RG3's not signed. Nobody knows if he's going to be in the league anymore after this. RG3's not on the team right now. So nobody's signing him. He might retire himself, you know. That's that style of quarterback.
So with the whole NFL,
they'll sign. Like I said, I don't know. They'll sign you.
They don't care. They don't care if.
What about his contribution to the movement though? Black Lives Matter and all this stuff.
Because his point is that he's going to focus on activism.
I applaud that. I applaud focusing on activism. But I mean, honestly, what else are you going to do? If you were signed, you wouldn't be focused. You wouldn't be saying you're going to focus on activism. You'd be in training camp right now. You know. I mean, look how big the controversy is surrounding the Redskins.
Hold on. No, you're making an assumption there. You can't say that if you were signed, you wouldn't be focused on activism. If he was signed and he focused on activism,
he wouldn't be.
It was the NFL that decided that no, he's not worth being signed. So he's like, you know what? Fuck this.
Maybe he can focus on activism.
I'm going to focus on activism.
Maybe he can focus on activism, but he wouldn't be putting a post on Facebook saying that he's going to retire and focus on activism if he was in training camp. because he would be in training camp. He'd be on the team.
But wasn't he not already an activist?
In a way, they pushed him out. They blackballed him.
I mean, he can be an activist. They
blackballed him. Yes. Are you saying it's okay to blackball people?
By not standing,
they
though,
have
wasn't
guys,
he already an activist?
They have guys who have gotten in.
Wasn't he already an activist, though, by not standing for the...
But it's weird that not standing makes you an activist. Like,
Because
I don't think that...
draws so much
I
attention.
personally don't think that that's all that would make a person an activist. No. He's not the first person that hasn't stood for that anthem.
And
not ever.
But that sport, especially at his position, is so popular. The NFL gets so much attention, man. There are billions of people that watch this sport. So I don't know about billions, maybe hundreds of millions. So especially at his position, because the quarterback handles the ball on every play. So he's the most popular guy on the team. People are they might not notice when the running back is not standing, but if the quarterback stands, that's a lot of attention. You know?
But he's not. He was the secondary, right?
No, he was a quarterback. He got the ball and threw it every play. So that's what I'm saying. Like he wasn't productive. I don't think he would have been signed anyway. Look at all the controversy that was surrounding the Redskins. Right, we've been through this. We had our conversations. Didn't affect the NFL one iota. People are still going to the games. People are still paying attention to the sport. They swept it under the rug, and it's kind of the same thing they're going to do with this. It's kind of the same thing they're going to do with this. They'll say, "Oh yeah, Kaepernick. Yeah, I saw that article. Okay, well yeah, so and so ran for 225 yards and 4 touchdowns. So let's pay attention to that.
I don't know. I think
unfortunately that's the way society works.
I don't know. I think in the end that is going to matter, right? I think in the end when something like this sets a precedent, like it's only downhill from here, right? I feel like Redskins aren't talking about changing their name right now. But I think eventually they have to because everybody you ask anybody. Like
I would have done it by now.
Exactly, right? You ask anybody, but it's a little fucked up. So that's the general consensus with everybody. And so why are they hanging on to name? They would make more money, I think, in a burst if they just changed it.
When I was on the way here, I mentioned
you can't drop into finances, right?
I mentioned I saw a motorcycle accident, right? And everybody was backed up. Traffic was backed up. A mile, whatever, 2 miles. It was slow rolling. Like, damn, what the hell happened? Ambulances and police cars are going by on the side medians. Trying to get by. So there's an accident, right? Mm-hmm. So we got up to the accident. I see the motorcycle spread all out. I'm like, damn, man, I hope this dude's okay, man. Hat on the ground, possessions all over the place. Other car had a big dent in it. Motorcycle laying on the side. So I got past the accident, and then it was, boom, let me hit 80. Now I started to go. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how people are. That's how society works. We would think something's fucked up for a minute. Man, I can't believe this happened. It's crazy. Within due time, you're like, let me just keep going with life. You know what I mean? Let me just keep driving. That's how this shit is going to be, man.
But what happens when there's 4 accidents up ahead?
Then you got the election.
You got to sit through all them shits. Well, and then what happens when there's 6 more up there?
The way society works is
you got to sit through all that shit too. And then people get out and start yelling.
Yeah, true that.
It's just a matter of time, dude. Like,
true that, man. I don't know.
Do you think it would have been made any sense for anybody else, any other people who shared Kaepernick's position to say anything? In the league,
somebody else was saying something about celebrities.
People did. I don't remember.
A lot of football players did, but maybe more, especially black athletes and celebrities, probably should have maybe took the same stance. But when you threaten somebody's money, these guys control everything. So
that's the key right there. It's like
control everybody's money.
Do you remember when we had the
same guys who own these teams?
We had that one day where like all the immigrants, everyone refused to go to work.
Mm-hmm. Right? The day without immigrants.
Yeah, the day without.
There was a women's march. I think in like Wisconsin or somewhere. But basically, all the women didn't go to work.
Yeah, no, they also had that too.
Same principle.
Yeah, same principle. But the thing is, like, how many people who actually did go to work though because they needed that money? You know what I'm saying? So like, I support everyone. Yeah, but like, wait, I might not have a job. I might not be able to come back tomorrow.
Self-preservation is the number one rule of.
Not
the number one rule, but it's high up there on the list of rules for humans.
I agree.
It comes down to that animalistic nature.
We're selfish.
Self-preservation at all costs,
So that's kind of hard too. Like, like I agree with everything, but like if my job was on the line, like, man, that's kind of hard, yo. Mm-hmm. And then because they're in the spotlight. Because they're celebrities, they're like athletes and this and that, right? Like, they can't just get another job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, like, once you retire from the NFL, like, what are you going to do? Go back to school?
So I would think the NFL would have, like, some...
You could very easily.
Could.
But, I mean, like, it's hard, though.
You got enough money.
There's a lot of success stories, coming from the NFL, man. I mean, dudes do go back to school. Hopefully they have some kind of program, like, if you...
Like, the ring isn't the end goal. Like,
the shelf life is so
more
short.
People don't get the ring than who do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so... playing for NFL is definitely, like you said before, playing in NFL is definitely the one-way ticket to serious injury later in life.
And
that's 100%.
That ring is nothing.
It's just a matter of time as when.
There's been Super Bowl champions who pawned their rings after they retired because they are broke.
Yeah,
so that ring is
nothing.
So
it's like, what's more valuable?
Financially,
save that money. When you're in the NFL, save that money so you can survive.
Hopefully Colin Kaepernick did something like that, or he has some other avenues.
I hope he is.
Because the NFL can be a great springboard to another career. It can bring more attention to whatever else you're trying to do other than, and you have to have a plan because the shelf life of these players is so short. It's ridiculous. I mean, basketball, you can come in and play 10 years easily. NFL, you might play 2. Don't let you have an injury in college or something like that. Don't let you get injured. You'll be off the. It's a scrap heap, man. I'm telling you, these guys run through players like it's nothing. And NFL gets so much attention. The game has to go on. The show must go on. So we have to get somebody else in there. You know, and the fans have no choice but to support who's in there. You know, it's like it's kind of like politics, right? Like they give you these. I heard something like, you know, we have the power to elect our leaders, but not select them. You know, and that's kind of how it is in football. Like whoever's in there, we just have to roll with. Okay, that's our guy now. You know, everybody who had a Kaepernick jersey, they got to get the next quarterback jersey now because that's what they're putting in. You know, I don't know, but I do support Kaepernick, man. I hope everything turns out well for him.
That was a powerful stance, you know? Like, it's crazy, right? You see somebody actually make that stance. It's so rare.
Him and RG3 had ridiculous years. They made the Super Bowl that year, 2012. Colin Kaepernick played in the Super Bowl. Could have won that ring, man. He ran like an 85-yard touchdown in that game. It was crazy. They played Baltimore.
But in the end, they're still...
Yeah,
Because the NFL's so what if there was a day without guys? What if it was a day without black people in the NFL, right? What if it was there would be like how many
what if it's just without sports?
Would it even be interesting anymore?
Huh? What if black people without not just a day without them in sports?
There'd be some
hockey
games, man.
He's got hockey.
Just have hockey, right?
I heard some crazy theory like Boyce Watkins. Like that's why there's so many blacks in athletics because of slave engineering. You know, you know, they would get the strongest men and the strongest women and the most healthiest, and they would interbreed them in these slaving farms. And that today, that's why we have all these black hulking athletes.
Right, because they were designed in a way.
Even the way the NFL runs their selection process, they get all these guys, 400 guys, that come to a stadium, right? They'll measure their arm span, they'll measure how high they can jump, they'll measure how high they can throw, or how far they can throw, how fast they can run. It's like they're looking at prize animals, you know? This really is like it's like an auction. Okay, well, yeah, this nigga right here.
It's a
look at this. He's slapping meat on his thighs.
Like straight up, like it's a dog fight. It's a cockfight. You throw a team of animals out here and they play against each other.
To be fair,
and we bet on the winners.
To be fair,
like it's on every level. Mm-hmm. It goes from cockfight to dogfight to NFL
it's
to Olympics,
day,
right?
Modern day gladiatorial.
That's
games.
just how it is, right?
That's
exactly.
what the NFL is.
Modern day gladiatorial games, man.
But at the same time, to be fair, there's white players in there, and they do the same exact specs and everything to the white players. So they see how far they can jump and throw and all that stuff. But it's
the only
I don't think the NFL might be
of
around because it really is inhumane, man. Like there's no security. They run through.
That's why they fight so hard to make sure that the NFL will cover these people when they have injuries, concussions. Like they have these rules in place. They have all these. Like they didn't used to have helmets.
Mm-hmm.
So many, like all these paddings and stuff, like in the scheme of things, those are fairly new, right?
Think about it. If you play in the league 5 years,
they have to fight so hard to get the NFL to make those requirements. Mm-hmm. They fought for years to make that happen.
If you play in the league 5 years, right, you'll be lucky to make 5 years, and you move around 3 different teams. You got to move your family each year. You got to, different costs that happen. A lot of that money you made, you're spending. So they have to fight for these guys to have health care and after they retire and some type of benefits because they're just running through these dudes, man.
Like if you're talking some cranial degenerative disease, right? Like who's gonna pay for your medical bills?
Exactly.
Right?
You ain't got no money.
Your funds are
20 years down the line when you develop some kind of whatever.
Mm-hmm. You're not playing anymore. I'm telling you, it's on some levels
it's just
inhumane.
Another corporate monster. Honestly, it's another really corporate monster. But you know what the crazy thing is? This is a corporate monster which people invest their heart and souls into.
I told you the owners were laughing and all the other fans were mad. Oh my god!
Like if we don't like a movie, if we don't like a movie, you know what we do? We go see the movie. We didn't like it. We don't buy the fucking DVD. Mm-hmm. That's it. But people go the next year just in case hopefully something better happens, right?
It's just distraction.
The company treats them wrong. It's okay.
We'll come back.
It's just how it is.
I'll be mad.
And they're okay with just like, you know, bowing their head and taking it. Like, oh, well, it's okay. It's just how it is.
It's wild, man. It's wild. Well, fellas, I do see a hashtag Philando Castile in this Kaepernick article, man. Y'all want to jump to Philando Castile?
Yeah, that's a lovely
pretty good segue. Yeah, I learned from the best. I learned from Juice.
Hashtag. All right, cool.
Hashtag Philando Castile, man.
All those videos being released, you know, with the whole dash cam and all that.
I agree with Juice, man. That was murder, man.
That was straight up
murder. This guy. We knew it back when it happened, but that was murder, man.
Like when he saw it, especially with the new camera that got released after the jury made. Hold on, can we talk about the jury here? So the jury of his peers, 12 people, 10 white people, 2 black people. I just want to bring up. I have to ask, what do they mean by jury of your peers? Because if that's the area where black people are pulled over constantly, and Philando Castile has been pulled over 30 something times with like half as many tickets because so many times they pulled him over for no reason, and they had to just let him go because they didn't have anything to hold him on. At what point you have to have people in the jury as your peers who have experienced that?
Yeah.
If they haven't, then I would argue that's not your peer.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is somebody
from
another part of town,
experience as you,
or didn't have that experience because it was 2 to 10
because it matters. It's relevant.
It's relevant. Although personal experience is relevant in making a decision.
Although that is a lot of times to get pulled over. I think we mentioned that back when it happened.
Yeah,
that was a lot of times to get pulled over, man. Jeez, 30 something times, but
with no. I mean, I'm sure he got some tickets. He had to have gotten some tickets. I'm sure it wasn't 0.
Mm-hmm.
But according to what the article I read back in the day, he didn't get a ticket every time. He probably got half as many tickets as he was pulled over. But you know what? We don't even
need to go into his history though. Just that isolated incident.
If we talk about that,
because a lot of times people like to dig up but back in the day he got pulled over 30 times, or he smoked weed, or whatever. Like, I don't want to tarnish that. Just in that instance. Right, he wasn't driving,
and you could hear the conversation.
Yeah, he already acknowledged that he had a license to carry. Like
he brought it up. He was like, "Hey, just so you know, I have a gun,
just so you know,
I have a license to carry it." And the guy was like, as he said, "Don't reach for your gun." Philando, as he said, "Don't reach for a gun," he was reaching for his, and he was pulling out. "Don't reach for your gun. Don't reach for your gun. Don't reach for your gun." And he's pulling his gun out the entire time. He said it 3 times or 4 times. The entire time he said that he's pulling his gun the entire time.
I would have been like,
and you hear Philando Castile saying, "I'm not reaching for my gun. I'm not reaching for my gun." And he shoots him 7 times.
It's all hindsight, but we can say, Philando, stay still. Tell him you have a gun, but stay still. But at the same time, man, 4 shots. Damn. There was a little girl in the back who the cop could obviously see. And on the video, we saw that he had backup. Yeah. Remember, we didn't know that at the beginning. I was like, whoa, there was another cop there. We might have found out maybe
on the
a
other
little
side.
while after. Yeah, but there was another cop.
And you know what? And I don't like that. I don't like that.
That little girl.
I don't like that aspect either, because he had backup. In the backup, when they saw, right, the dude turned off his his audio. It's like, come on, man. If that just looks shady.
Even the video with the girlfriend, how they made her get out and back towards him and get down on her knees and all that. You just murdered my boyfriend. And
he's bleeding out.
My kid is in the car.
Where's the first aid? Apply pressure to the wound.
This dude died on camera. Technically, he died at the hospital, but you see him, fuck, and then he starts moaning, and he just kind of slumps off. You're like, oh my god, you murdered this guy.
And his kid is just right there going, "Hey, mom, don't do anything. I don't want you to get shot either."
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
Come on, man.
That was wild.
And also, people are like, of course, we're going to talk about hindsight. You should have put your hand on the dash. You should have this. But how many times does this happen to black men? Like the dude who, occupational therapist or whatever, he's laying on the floor with his hands up.
He was laying on the ground with his hands up.
Come on, man.
Still got shot.
How many more excuses?
And
how many more reasons
and the person they were there for was the big white guy. And they shot the guy who was watching him.
Come on now. We can make, all sorts of assumptions. These are all just excuses, though. Where's accountability?
What is the meaning of having a license if I explain to you I have one? If the cop was fearing for his life, that was an awful quick reaction to fire 4 shots. And then assess the situation and see what he was doing.
Where's the assessment? Where's your police training?
I mean, you had backup. Maybe
And then
yell some instructions to him before you pull out and start shooting.
And then when the cops
don't reach for it.
sobbing,
put your hand on the steering wheel.
When the cop started sobbing,
exactly,
you guys heard it? He was sobbing afterwards.
Oh, he was.
When the cop was sobbing afterwards, you're just like I was in that joint stunned. Like, are you really crying? You shot. This was your decision. You did this.
I think
like you can't cry. Like no, you have no forgiveness here. No, you murdered him right there.
He might have been scared, which is. But you're a police officer. You have to keep your cool in those situations. If your first instinct is to reach for your gun and shoot, then you shouldn't have that badge.
Okay, the thing is, like,
I don't care if it's a black person,
I
white
understand.
person.
I understand he might have panicked and, for safety reasons, reached for his weapon, right? But you also have like a baton. You also have like a taser, pepper spray. Like there's other non-lethal forces you could have used, like. Seriously, like, he wasn't going to drive off. Like, he wasn't even driving. He was a passenger. Like, come on.
Sitting there, man.
Yeah, seriously. Like, step outside the vehicle.
And it started off casual. It started off cordial, right? The conversation was like, hey, we pulled you over because you have a broken tail light. He was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. He was like, here's my registration. And then the cop was like, okay, well, give me your license. And then, and he was like, okay. And as he was reaching for his license, he was pulling his license out. And he was just like, oh, just so you know, I do have a firearm and I'm a licensed gun owner. And the guy was like, don't reach for your gun. And he immediately...
But I thought it was
like
even weird to even ask for the passenger's ID. Because, like, they're not driving. Like, what do you need his ID for?
Was he the passenger?
He
was the passenger.
They said...
That's just crazy.
Back when
so
the video
why would you ask
happened,
him for his ID?
Why would you ask him for his ID? Yeah.
They said back when the video happened that they pulled him over for a busted tail light. But then they said, when this recent video came out, they said that he pulled him over because of the distinction of his nose, and he matched some description of some criminal or something. And I'm like, you murdered a guy because of how his nose looked. That's ridiculous, man. All this to say that the cop was acquitted of all these charges.
Right.
The cop was acquitted of all these charges. He's not going to jail.
But he had the 100% get off, killing a black person for free card, which is I feared for my life. If you say that, I feared for my life. I am so tired of that excuse. I am so tired of that excuse. I fear for my life. Everybody is, he feared for his life? Let him go.
I saw a debate on it, and they said that the cop said, Philando Castile was moving in the sense that, and not to say that these cops are not in fear for their lives, because they are charged with the public trust of keeping everybody safe.
See, in my opinion,
right? But in this point in case, you did not keep somebody safe. You murdered a man.
I think we should redefine fear and threat. Like,
I don't get the criminal justice
That's
system.
A good distinction.
To quote, like, what's it called? Will Smith in After Earth, which I like the movie.
I liked it too.
But anyways, it was okay. It was okay. Anyways,
I didn't like his son's acting.
Anyways, regarding what he says in the movie, right? He was like, threat is real.
Right.
A threat is definitely real.
Something you can see. Yeah.
Fear is a choice
in your mind.
Yeah.
It's all in your mind. Like, fear can't hurt you. Fear can't kill you. A threat can.
The only fear
in those situations,
the fear is fear itself.
Right. So definitely, he had fear. Was the threat there?
No.
I think threat was very minimal.
You're right. I to be a distinction.
That needs to be more defined, because
they need a point.
I personally don't think that Castile would have done anything, because he has a mother there. He has his child there. Like he's not gonna blast through that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the guy didn't even have time to run his license to see who he was in the first place, right? So it was like, you didn't know anything about this person.
Nothing.
Right? You decided that... And
did you hear about how he was helping kids?
If he was a criminal, do you think he would have, like,
girl...
No, do you think he would have admitted, like, hey, just so you know, he would have volunteered that information?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he was a criminal, he'd have waited for you to turn your back and blasted you, right? But that didn't happen. He was like, hey, just so you know,
it was all
I'm a registered...
They tried to comply with the law.
They tried.
He did not give him a chance. He didn't give the situation a chance to develop. From a cop's point of view, you kind of understand, because they do kind of have to be fearful of what's happening around. But the first thing you did was pull out.
You need to be aware.
Cautious.
Aware or cautious.
But that does not equate fearful is something else.
If you're fearful every single time,
he murdered this man in cold blood. That's ridiculous, man. I couldn't believe when they said he wasn't. I mean, come on, man.
When you brought up the point that they're like, oh, he looks like this one guy that we're after, like, oh, because of his nose. And
show the picture of the other guy, because I want to see. I want to know if he even looked like.
Because this reminds me of, I don't want to move too far, into the next segment or whatever. But like, this reminds me of this 10-year-old kid who was chased down by a bunch of cops. They all had guns drawn on this 10-year-old kid because he looked like some 25-year-old dude, who was wanted or whatever. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously.
Because he's chubby and black. So, does the guy get him? Like, and the kid ran.
Come on.
There are certain other cases that you can identify with more so over than other cases. Like, who was the gentleman who was shot selling cigarettes? Remember that? Like,
he was choked out.
I would never.
Garner. Yeah, Garner.
Was that him?
Eric Garner.
Okay, well, who was selling the CDs?
That was
It's a guy in like Louisiana or something. Like
that,
I
know what you're talking about.
It's too many of
those situations. You're like, man, that's fucked up. I can't believe that you murdered this guy on video. We saw you shoot him. You didn't have to do that. That's murder. But you kind of don't identify with so much because I wouldn't say I would never, but I don't sell CDs or cigarettes or something like that. This particular case, he was driving. You know what I mean? That could have been me.
He's a passenger.
That could have been me.
Right.
That could have been. He could have said, "Yo,
passenger.
you match the description of this guy."
He was a
you know
passenger.
what I mean? That's crazy, man.
Like,
That's wild.
In his car, doing what he does, like driving.
It could have been me. It could have been you. Like
going wherever
you
go
look
to
like
lunch
this
or
guy.
something. Going to lunch, whatever, and they pulled him over and murdered him. Like,
when
Happy belated Father's Day or something.
Yeah, man.
When Philando seen him pull over, seen the lights in his mirror, and he pulled over, he didn't think I'm gonna die at the end of this encounter. You know what I mean? Damn, like what do you? I mean, that's a cold-blooded murder, man. I don't understand the system.
All right.
I don't understand.
In order to avoid getting shot, don't sell CDs. Don't
sell cigarettes.
Don't drive.
Don't drive.
Don't drive.
Don't put your arms up. Don't run to the police.
Don't run to the police. Don't lay down.
God, man.
Don't lay down with your hands up.
Okay. So
don't be naked.
That'll list
That was
going.
another thing.
Okay. All right.
They shot a dude straight up. He was naked. He had issues.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently something's wrong with him. But he was butt ass naked. Did you guys have to light him up?
This is making everybody
Maybe you guys
mad all
arrested
over
naked
again.
crazy person. I'm just saying. There's options.
This is making me mad all over again, man.
Yeah, I know, man.
This is crazy. I mean, that was murder. It was murder, man.
Yeah, there's no,
how do you justify
no
that? Like, how do you? How did the court come to this kind of decision where, like, oh, he was justified in what he did? You can't look at that video and tell me that he was justified. Your police training,
I fear for
my
my life
all of that
defense.
in this video.
That's not a good.
It's on video.
Can I make the argument that if you're a police officer, you should fear for the life of the people you're supposed to be protecting over your own life?
Protect and serve. Like, where does that come in?
Or how about the little girl in the car?
You shouldn't. Yeah, you should fear for her life.
That
like not my own life.
If you're come into play in your mind in that split second, okay, there's a child.
If an officer is worried more about his own well-being, he shouldn't be an officer. The officer's job is to protect the community, not yourself. If you go out there with like, oh, I gotta make sure I make it home tonight. No, you're not helping people. You're selfish. Like that. No, you're in the wrong job. I'm sorry. That's not your occupation. You should be something else. I wouldn't say a firefighter either. Because you know what firefighters do? They run into a fucking fire to save people who need help. You know what police do? They fucking back those guys up. They run into criminal, dangerous situations to help people.
Can you imagine?
Like Jay said,
can you imagine a firefighter going, nah, son, nah.
Right, you know, a firefighter be like, I fear for my life.
Like, nah,
it's hot. It's not fire.
I
tried to save him, but I couldn't go in because it's too hot.
That fire is too hot, son. I can't fuck that, man. You know what I mean?
Talk about public servants.
Yo, you bring the marshmallows?
You
gonna roast the marshmallows.
Can you imagine the backlash, right? But then, like, cops are doing the same thing.
That's crazy, man.
Straight up, man. Straight up.
I mean,
good analogy. Yeah.
Even before this, like the video itself, the video itself we saw a year ago was just bad. When the guy had, this dude's laying over dying on the side. This guy has his gun still pointing in the window. Like, the whole thing is bad, man. The whole thing. It's image for the police department.
Son of a bitch. You don't get the fucking right to stop.
Dude, oh my God.
Jesus
the
Christ,
video
man.
that came out of her holding that selfie, right? That video, right? Like, she's leaning over. She's like, oh, he's going to die. Like,
yo, and what was it? Trevor Noah.
Man, he's just sitting there dead. He's dying.
Trevor Noah pointed out this one part, right? Where he was like, when he was on the camera and the cop said something, and she was like, he's bleeding to death, sir. You shot him 4 times. And Trevor Noah pointed out the fact that even in this situation where her boyfriend has just been shot, lit up, and is dying next to her, she still had the soundness of mind to say, sir, he's dying, sir. Like, to give him deference. She had the point of the soundness mind where this cop is supposed to be trained.
She was more calm than he was.
She was calmer than he was.
At
And
that
he's
point-
the guy with the gun in control.
At that point, she didn't know
Quote,
he was going to
unquote,
point that
control.
gun in the car, shoot her, and shoot the little girl. At that point, I
I'm
mean,
saying,
damn.
like the training of black people, you can't. It doesn't matter what the fuck you do, but you better not fucking act the fuck up, because the cop will kill you.
This is why
Straight
the
up and
situation pisses everybody off, because it could have been me.
It
You're
could've been
driving
anybody.
home with your girl and your kid in the backseat, you get pulled over and killed. Like that's, I mean, come on, man. Come on. that shit really hits home for people, because it's like, that could have been me, son. I got pulled over before, you know?
Who hasn't?
But, I mean, come on, man. This shit is ridiculous. Like, how do you not call that murder?
See, the part that makes me nervous is that if he was the one who was driving, we can make more excuses. He was a passenger.
That's just crazy.
Passenger. So
I'm not sure, man. I don't know.
It's just
That's
madness,
wild.
dude. Like it shouldn't happen. It should not have happened like this, and he shouldn't be off. Like the police department. Look, the police department didn't back him up. They fired his ass. He's not working there anymore. They let him go. That's
They should charge
an
him.
admission to guilt.
Charge.
Like no, we're not gonna charge him, but he can't work here anymore.
I mean,
Dude, you fucked up. Like, yes, he did it. That's involuntary manslaughter at the very, very, very least.
there has to be
If it was an
empathy.
accident, he panicked. Involuntary manslaughter at the very least.
Human beings, man, we call it like humanity, empathy, whatever it is, sympathy, you know, all these T's that it ends with T's. But there has to be people on that police department who just totally do not agree, you know, of what he did in that encounter. You know, there are people on that police department who are probably disgusted, like, oh my God, man, what are you doing?
Why
Like,
would you do that?
You're giving us a bad name as a whole, as a
What are you
police
gonna do?
department.
should be
So
ashamed.
what are you going to do
Humanly,
then?
what are you
Hold
doing,
him
dog?
accountable.
Exactly. That's why he's fired. Like you have to go, man. It's not only a public image thing, but
Like,
there
that's-
has to be people on that force who are like, "Yo,
That's such
You
a
handled that
little
wrong,
bit,
man.
right? That's
That's
such
murder.
a
You murdered
small
him.
bit of resolution, right? To have them fire him, but
that
still,
requires jail
it's
time."
nothing. It does.
No,
Like, that was
no,
murder.
exactly.
Come on, man. What is criminality if that's not it? You know. But I guess, you know, as far as our government and shit goes, we murder people on mass scales and justify it and say that's just business, you know. So whatever.
War.
Whatever, man.
And then at the same time, they let this cop go for that. They sentenced a girl to 20 plus years in jail because she convinced her boyfriend to commit suicide, where she wasn't there over text messages.
I don't know.
She said some fucked up shit though.
See, now
Dude, she didn't shoot his ass like 12
Yeah, I'm about to
times.
say, well, she
Like,
didn't do
you're
it.
telling me they let this cop go at the same time. Like you don't see the irony.
I see your
You
comparison.
see the irony.
I see your comparison.
where did these incidents, where does this thing happen?
I see your comparison.
Like if this guy had an issue,
Is
first
it the
off,
same
he's
state?
an
It's not the
adult.
same state.
He was an adult. He wasn't a kid.
Where did this thing happen at? Is it Minnesota?
No, it's not. It's some other state. Hell.
State laws, man. Hell, I don't know. Statutes and shit. But I mean, shit.
It
If I
doesn't
could-
matter if caping it.
if
I
I
mean, not
convince-
caping it.
look, if
if
I convince
Castile was
Jay
shot in
to-
Texas or Virginia, like
Look,
this shit would have happened.
If I
Same
convince
thing would
Jay
go
to
down.
kick this wall barefooted, that's not my fault. You know what I mean? Like I say, hey, man, you should kick that shit, man. It's
You know what?
cool,
This
you know,
is
but
a great segue to the
And-
Maryland Sniper. Then.
at the same time,
That's
it's
a
like,
good point, right?
with the, like
So
it's not my
what about-
fault.
we're talking about-
What about Malvo then?
Right. So
These
what
seven-
if?
This is a great segue.
But
What up?
hey,
What up?
everybody got
Come
one
on,
up
man.
on
You gotta get
segues.
segue
in
going
this
on
joke,
here,
man.
man.
So, okay,
You started.
So Malvo's been in prison now. You know, the young kid, 17-year-old kid.
DC sniper.
You know, 15 years ago, the DC sniper, guy was executed something
In
like 8 years.
2009, I
Yeah,
think?
8 years afterwards, or something. Yeah, after the 2002 or event or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
John Allen Muhammad, Malvo's partner, was executed in November 2009.
So Malvo now, the young kid, right?
Right.
He got life in prison, and they try to retry him this and that twice. He got life in prison. Now he is eligible for.
It
Or
says
something.
based on a new ruling from the Supreme Court, which is Miller versus I think Alabama. So the premise of this new ruling is that retroactively, a minor cannot be charged the life in prison without parole, just period, because they're a minor. And at the time of the DC sniping incident. He was 17 years old.
And he talked about how he was brainwashed.
And yeah.
So, like, you know, D here convincing me to kick a wall, like, you're right, he's not really at fault. But then again, like,
Did she brainwash him into committing suicide? But you have to imagine, like, if he's 17 and he looked up to this guy, to a degree, having an idol or role model is a degree of brainwashing. You're within
and also, you have no idea what they talked about.
And if he didn't have any other counter,
you have no idea what they talked about, though, because maybe he threatened him, maybe he coerced him.
That's true,
like, we have no idea what their relationship was like.
Could be a Stockholm system.
Exactly. We have no idea. But the point is, he was 17. He was still a minor. Your brain, your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until your mid-20s kind of thing.
That's true. Yeah, but, prefrontal cortex is a big issue.
So again, like, and also life in prison without parole. Okay, like, people obviously, like, the whole corrections facility. Are they really corrections, or are they just more containment facilities?
They're containment facilities, especially if it's life in prison and the fact there's no parole. But you shouldn't. And so I want to be clear. I agree with this ruling.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Like, 17 years old is really young to be able to make a decision.
Dude, your entire life is gone.
Right.
That's it.
At 17. Like, we've all done dumb shit at 17.
Dude, I'm not even going to say it on the podcast what I've done when I was 17, but exactly, like, the thing is, think about it. Not only are you throwing his life away, right? But now he will probably be victimized if he hasn't already in prison. He's
in prison, yeah. Like you put him in the like full mass-carrying prison.
Where's the corrections? With adults? Where's the corrections aspect of this correction facility? Like, how are we ever gonna, like, rehabilitate? How are we ever gonna have a better society if we're just gonna throw people in jail?
Right. Exactly.
No, maybe they don't want a better society. If they had a better society, we'd
have
better
but then again, schools. I asked, who is they?
I agree.
Who is they that we are talking about?
They is always like this consequential, like to black folks is known as the man.
Michael Pence.
People on the whole is they, them.
Trump.
You know, the 1%. The majority.
Like,
the white. Like, but the thing is, like, again, like,
Goldman Sachs president.
We might not like, people might not care this and that, but, like, you know what? The ones who are being affected, we should care. Mm. You know, we should care. The minorities, the marginalized people.
I don't know. The law is, like, either cut and dry. It's black or white. There's no gray area to operate in there, right? Like, so how long was this brainwashing going on? Like, how, what were the circumstances? Because 17, that's still kind of old enough to decide whether I want to help you shoot somebody and drive off. You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't have done that at 17.
Let me make the argument.
The dumb shit we were doing was,
17, at 17, I believe without a doubt that there was a great God in the sky and he sent his son to earth to die for our sins. Yeah. I believe that 100% at 17. A lot of people who are adults now believe that.
Abraham almost killed his own son.
There's one thing to believe that. There's one thing to believe that, and there's another thing to believe that I should shoot this person because they're evil or for whatever other reason. That's a criminal act.
Let's extrapolate.
But we do that in war.
Let's extrapolate from that.
We demonize the enemy. We do that too, though.
Yeah, you sent 17-year-olds to war.
And if they get
in the past, they have.
If that 17-year-old gets caught in the other country, they'll be convicted as a criminal because you murdered us. There is a war crime. You know what I mean? Like, so it just depends on which side you're fighting for. I don't know. 17 to me, and let's just point out,
why don't we let people drink at 17?
I got an article here
because their brains aren't developed enough to be able to handle alcohol. It'll have long. Yeah, they do, but legally you're not supposed to because your brains aren't developed enough to be able to handle what alcohol will do to your brain. I
don't buy that with alcohol because alcohol makes people do that at 25. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does.
So it doesn't matter age. It doesn't matter for alcohol.
But your brain is still developing. It's different when it has an effect on an adult brain that's already done its development versus what is done to a brain that's still developing.
To shoot somebody. Did he shoot anybody? Well, because that's a criminal act.
Did he?
You can't There is. I was looking in this article on CNN and it
doesn't matter if he did. Like,
it does matter.
It doesn't matter.
He killed someone.
The fact is, what he could have very well been brainwashed.
But what about like
people have taken poison, right? Because they were convinced that it was the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. Adults have done that. Cyanide, right? And I forgot what country that was, but
they have it at Jamestown, USA.
Mm-hmm. So some of them were kids when they took that. Would you consider that brainwashing? They didn't shoot anybody else, but they kind of killed themselves.
Well, that's still brainwashing. It would have been one thing if he would have killed himself instead of helping him kill 10 other people. You know what I mean? That's where the criminality comes in.
It is a criminal act. I'm not arguing that it's not a criminal act.
There's a part in the article.
My argument without parole, though.
My argument is that life without parole is too much.
Do you think that maybe
you went on a killing spree and killed 10 people?
But do you think that maybe in like 30 years,
if he killed 3 of the 10, does it matter?
Do you think that he probably?
When is your debt to society served?
Right.
It depends on the degree of the crime. This was a heinous crime, so we have to be a little harsher on him than we would on somebody who robbed a liquor store.
But he was a minor.
Or somebody who got drunk at 17 and got into a car accident and injured somebody else or killed somebody else. That's different than pulling the trigger to shoot somebody, snipe somebody out.
Well, wait a minute. What if he did kill somebody else? Because they definitely let the dude off of the hook for that same crime, and his defense was affluenza, which is having too much affluence. He was too rich to know what he was doing.
That's
a goddamn literal. That's a literal case.
That's a beast ass defense, though. I was too rich, dog. I really didn't.
Rich out this bitch.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Oh, that's illegal.
Thank you, Chip.
Shooting people is illegal.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
But I didn't know.
I didn't know I could do that. There's a part of the article, I got a CNN article pulled up, says Lee will remain in jail, actually in prison, as he has a number of other sentences from Maryland. Attorney Greg Cooley said his convictions in Virginia were not set aside, just the sentencings. I imagine the Virginia Attorney General's office will appeal the ruling. So he's still in jail, just his life sentence is overturned.
Well, yeah, imagine he still has to serve time, but the fact of time without parole, without an opportunity.
That's ridiculous, man.
Without an opportunity.
Imagine being in a jail cell, them fucking bars closed, and you're like, you're in here for life. The fuck, man? You know what I mean? Yeah. Actually, I saw some jails that were actually pretty comfortable. They were like little apartments, man. They had like TV. Had the little commissary, had the noodles over there.
Yeah, had a hot plate. Until lights out.
Until 1 hour in the yard a day.
Exactly.
You gotta go in the yard.
So you gotta take that shower in the public.
Dog, I'll be like Angie Dufresne in there, dog. I'll be tunneling my way out of there, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell you, Shawshank.
Still a spoon out the cafeteria.
Wow. I don't know, man. That's why I said like the gray area. I want to know exactly what he did, what his involvement was, specifics, details. And I didn't follow this article enough to know that, but, you know, I thought it was relevant to all of us around here because we were around here when all this was happening, man. I was about 17 as well. About 16, 17. That speaks to the development of the brain that you were saying, because I didn't take the gravity of this one back then. You know, I was still 17.
I was fucking around, man. Like, I was wearing bright colors. Like, I was like provoking. I was like, whatever, man.
We were going to the mall, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
buying clothes and whatnot.
Do you remember how some of our parents were like, oh, don't pump gas. You better make sure you're like, your heads are down, walking zigzags, looking all stupid. I was like, come on, man. Come on now.
Yeah. He ain't worried about me.
Me at 17, I was kind of airheaded, so I could see the brainwashing. But there's a difference when somebody would say, "Hey, Derek, I need you to shoot this motherfucker over here." You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
That's not how brainwashing works.
Now, how does
rose up?
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Rose up was like, "Hey, what up, bro? What up, D?"
But that's what I'm saying.
You trying to go kill this? But
that's what I'm saying. How was this brainwashing?
But the thing is, we don't know their relationship, though. What if, like, he was captive? What if, like, he wasn't getting fed? What if he was sleep deprived? Like,
exactly. Like, did he have him like Guantanamo? He had him tied up to a chair. Was he waterboarding him to get him to
it doesn't have to be waterboarding.
What kind of psychological?
It could just be an acceptance situation, right? Like, what about a gang, right? So teens kill other people all the time.
Absolutely.
Why do they do that? At what point do you decide that it's okay to kill somebody else because their sneakers are the wrong color? I would argue that's a situation of brainwashing because they don't have anything else, another outlet, another counter narrative, right? That's all they have. That's all they know. I would imagine that's another situation of brainwashing.
Or the gray area, right? Like, excuse me. Out of all the time between the span of time that they killed these 10 people and injured, how many people did they injure? Said they killed 10 people in the article.
10 people that killed, like 3 people injured.
Okay, yeah. Within that span of time, there's a certain time there where you kill the first person, kill the second person, kill even the third person. Okay, well, is this wrong? You have a time to think about it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I want to know the certain circumstances of his brainwashing and how that went down, because
was he
at the end of the day,
for all 10 though? Or even 13?
See, that's what we don't even
know.
What
if he just injured the 3?
Remember they had us looking for like a white van.
What if he didn't want to kill? He injured 3.
Yeah, what if he
or like, for example, what if like the first dude, Muhammad, already did 12, and then like the 13th one, like he just happened to go for the ride.
He sneezed when he pulled the trigger.
Like, what if
Pulled it a little
what
bit
if
to
the
the
first
right.
10 or
You're
whatever
right. We
was
need
like
to
the
know more
first
about
guy,
the case.
and then he brought the kid for the last 2 or last 3 or whatever.
But to me, that's Heyman, man. You
Even
went on a
still,
killing
What if he was
spree.
in the backseat sleeping, and then he was the dude who was driving, like the Muhammad's guy who was driving,
another
shot,
thing.
and then he was
I'm
in the
pretty
back.
sure he admitted to some of the crimes, but he's black. Then again, he's black at the same time.
It
We have to realize-
doesn't matter what he like. 'cause
I
they're gonna pin it
think
on
it
him
does.
anyways.
Yeah, exactly. If he was black, no. If he was white, he would have had an argument like, "I was just driving."
Let's see. He's
I
dark
didn't know.
skinned. The dude's name is Muhammad. After 9/11,
Mhm.
oh, he's going to jail.
Now you're gonna make me
regardless.
watch a whole bunch of videos on this. Like, why even, questions about the crime itself? Why even stay in this area? Was he trying to specifically affect this area? Why not
They
shoot?
said the argument was that
He said he wanted to kill his ex-wife. Or
yeah,
something.
he
Why not
wanted-
shoot 3
he
people
wanted
here
to
and then
make-
drive to
he
Minnesota
wanted to
and
make it
shoot
look
3 people there?
random.
Like, I don't get it. I don't
That's
get the
dumbest shit
motivation.
in the world. You wanted to kill your ex-wife, so you killed 10
Like-
other people to try to mix it in.
Bruh,
Nah,
just
this
kill
Like,
her.
dude,
middle-aged-
just kill her.
This middle-aged white
If you're
guy
gonna
right here at the
have a-
gas
if you're
station looks
gonna
like
have
my
a-
wife. Wow,
If you're gonna have a shooting spree, if you're gonna have a serial killer shooting spree to cover up the fact that you killed another
You
person,
might as well just do it then.
just kill the person. Like if you,
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know enough about his
I
motivation.
think that's definitely a distinct
But
point
again-
that
but
there was
no.
some
But again-
mental
but again-
issues.
But no,
That
but they
correlation,
but they
does
did
not-
say that he had mental issues.
right. They did,
So,
but
I
they
mean-
still executed him, which is interesting because normally they wouldn't execute somebody with mental issues unless you're black and named Muhammad.
Yeah,
yeah.
they definitely have executed people in the past with mental issues.
No, that's true. That is true.
So
That is
yeah,
true.
so I mean, like
I heard a story about
that-
they
that's-
executed a guy, and he's like, he was been on death row for like years, and he was like, "Oh, okay. So what are we doing tomorrow?" And Priest was like,
Oh
"Tomorrow."
no. This
You know
story,
what's going on here?
This story is sad. No, this story is sad.
Yeah.
I read about this. He was known as the happiest inmate.
Oh,
And he had the mental
That's already wrong.
he had the mental capacity of a 12-year-old, and he actually had toys that guards would give him because he was such a nice person, right? I can't remember I can't exactly remember why he was in prison. I think it was like a false accusation that someone pointed at him and said that, oh, this guy who did it. But regardless,
damn.
because he couldn't defend himself, they pinned it on him, and he went to life. And like I gotta look up his name, but basically, like everyone loved him. All the inmates loved him. All the like correction officers, they gave him toys and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I remember like when they were sentencing him to the execution chair, he was given his last meal and his dessert. He said that he wanted to save it for later.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I made my shit.
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
really know
no,
story,
but
yeah, he was like, "You want to save it for
But
later."
the thing is, like, yeah, they were giving him dessert, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna save it
what?
for later.
Eat it,
The
man.
fact that he didn't understand
You
that.
might want to eat that now.
Think about that. The fact that he didn't understand that and he was executed. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Said, nah, eat it now. Eat up.
You should eat
Go
up
on, eat it
now.
up.
You should eat up now.
The judge was like, "Do you know what's going on here?"
Like, he had no idea.
Yeah, that's messed up. That
So,
is fucked
so the
up.
fact that this,
What- do you remember
that guy,
what state that was in?
pardon?
You remember what state that was in? Or
This happened like decades ago.
in Texas.
Crazy.
But anyways, like, the fact that he was executed, there's no reason for anyone else, like, not to be executed then. Because if that guy should have been the exception.
Yeah,
He should have been the exception. But, again, like,
that's true.
gotta make an example out of people, right?
Hey, Ray Rice learned that the hard way. Dang, man. Well, I guess. Yeah, more power to him. I still don't understand what's going on, but whatever. One cop gets acquitted from all criminal history, or from all criminality and murdering somebody. The guy who assisted in murdering 10 people is getting his sentence overturned. So, it's still a pretty harsh life.
executed the head.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I don't know, man. It's all of it's a messed up situation. Like I say all this stuff not being a family member who lost, right? A family member to this heinous situation.
Someone who got killed in that action. Yeah, that's crazy.
Speaking of killing, let's talk about. So there's an article came over NPR talking about the Michigan Health Chief charged with involuntary manslaughter in Flint water crisis. So the director of Michigan's Department of Health and Human Services, Nick Lyon, has been charged with involuntary manslaughter for misconduct in office over the Flint water crisis. Both the felonies in Michigan. So I think, if I recall correctly, I think what he had done was he knew about the Flint Oh no, he knew about a situation of disease spreading, and I'm trying to remember what the name, Legionnaire's disease, that was spreading. That were people were getting from this contaminated water in Flint. He knew about this particular disease and ended up kind of suppressing the paperwork and the information to let people know, right, to disseminate the information about this particular crisis of this disease. And in that, they found out that he was doing that, and, and it looks like the DA charged him with involuntary manslaughter. Whether or not he'll be convicted, we'll see. But I think it's a good step in the right direction.
What's
right?
his name again?
Nick Lyon.
Nick Lyon.
Yeah.
Dang.
Lyon Wells.
Lucius Lyon.
Yeah.
I mean, Lucius. You ever thought? I'm glad my name is my name. Lucius.
That would be cool, I think.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. You could probably think of some cool nicknames. Yeah. Lucius.
But yeah, man. So I think that's a good step in the right direction. If you're holding government officials accountable, if you're holding normal people accountable, you should definitely hold government officials accountable.
Of course, it was their fault. But
but that doesn't happen most of the time.
Yeah, when you start talking about
majority.
Like government funds and state funds, how much do these people, how much pull do these guys have? I mean, something like water for masses of people. I mean, it should be a no-brainer, right? I don't know, but you got to hold somebody accountable. It's somebody's fault. But
speaking of holding people accountable,
it wasn't just him.
That reminds me of this guy named Phil Stair, a bank sales manager in Flint, Michigan. He essentially blamed the city's water problem on black people, and he was saying, he was quoted. I'm not going to say the whole quote, but he was saying Flint has the same problem as Detroit. Black people don't pay their bills. Believe me, I deal with them. This is obviously a lot. This is a lot nicer version. His version is pretty messed up, but How you gonna blame how you gonna blame the victim? That's victim blaming right there.
That's victim blaming 101 right there.
And then basically, he stepped down because obviously he's getting massive backlash.
And the craziest thing about that is he tried to use the age-old excuse people love to use. I have black friends. I wasn't. He said. I think he said quite literally. I was in Virginia. I was in Myrtle Beach. I was surrounded by black people. I have black friends.
I couldn't wait to leave.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It was like, of course I said that.
I'm surrounded by black.
Like, I don't think you should admit to that.
Man, yeah, well.
But it seems like there's still a lot going on in Flint, man. Like, I like the fact people are still fighting. I like the fact that even though it's not in the mainstream news, you can get news and there's regular updates on what's going on in Flint.
The part that bothers me, though, about the whole Flint thing, right? People are still fighting, but on both sides. Like, I remember a lot of water companies now, they're threatening to evict over 1,000 people because they haven't been paying their water bills.
Evict?
Think about that for a second. There are water companies who are threatening to evict people in Flint because they haven't been paying their water bill.
Like, I don't want to wash with
First of all, you need to have clean water in order to, like...
Wait, well, what else would you be paying a water company for, right? To provide you not just water.
Safe water.
With safe, clean water.
Sanitation, man.
Like, if you're not doing your job, I'm sorry, but I want my refund.
I think...
Like, nah, you ain't getting paid.
Gentrification plays a large part into it. Maybe there's something with that bank manager was saying as far as it's black people's fault, right? It's not black people's fault, but maybe the fact that this area has been neglected for so long because maybe there are a lot of black people there and they don't want to put the funds. They want to put it to the rich side of town.
I see what you're saying.
Absolutely.
They don't want to maintain.
Absolutely.
They don't want to maintain the infrastructure of that area because there's no white people there. It's not white people.
There's no business there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing for us. We don't gain anything. We lose money, quote unquote, because we're reinvesting.
You can't blame the black people because the state or the area we are neglecting this infrastructure that needs to be fixed. It's like a bridge, right? Like if the bridge needs to be repaired, you got to either repair it or it's going to fall down. I guess according to what the bank manager was saying, if there was only black people using the bridge,
I was just gonna say, I was like, yeah, black people only using that bridge. So they go,
better get some stilts.
It's all good.
I get some floaties.
Got little arm floaties. Oh man, y'all ain't right.
Yo, real talk though. I mean, they don't care, dude.
Yeah, it's just gentrification,
crazy,
man.
man.
I was watching some video about they're trying to gentrify New York like really heavily now, and they got like some what's it called, like the New School, the World School, some school they opened in New York, but it's literally right across the street from these project houses, And like it was some documentary on YouTube. They were showing like the difference. Like you got all these kids who get dropped off in Bentleys and Escalades that get dropped off on this side of the street. Meanwhile, literally across the street, you got project houses.
Nas and the Wu-Tang. Just
They were saying that they didn't want the kids from the school didn't want to walk past that neighborhood and go to the subway because people are looking at them like, well, you from a different world, like you know what I mean, like the looks they get, and
at least those
like,
kids
man,
ain't totally stupid.
They're trying to gentrify, man.
Good idea.
Intergenerationally, if you don't give people wealth, and if people are getting locked up and there's no job, you're not going to hire us. Then something like paying your water bill, that area is going to suffer because the people that are living there, you don't have the funds to maintain the area.
Not only maintain. Okay, this is just business 101. Like, if this generation,
no jobs, no taxes.
Economy 101, right? If
this
this generation is not thriving, if this generation is continuously like going down and down, what do you think the next generation is going to be like? They have no hope. They're never going to get out, and it's going to continue to go down. It's a downward spiral. Like, unless you start investing into your city,
that's it. People got to invest. I mean, the people with the cash have to invest. It's crazy, man. You start like digging into economics and like how these guys have this money, but they're holding it offshore. They have these offshore accounts where like, a company will make $100 billion, but they'll leave most of the profits, offshore. They won't bring it back into the economy and infuse it. That's our favorite word again, infuse it with
diamond
job creation and, giving people money. You know what I mean? Like,
bring us some gold.
So that's what Trump is talking about, bringing the money back to America, bringing it back.
That's what he's talking about, but that's
sure
as hell ain't what he's doing.
Because the problem that the rich people see with it is taxation. They're going to get taxed if they bring it back. So they leave it offshore, So now he's talking about reforming the tax situation so that if they bring it back,
what was that Trump?
They don't get taxed.
What was that Trump statement? He was talking about building the wall. He's going to put solar panels on the wall. And he says it's going to bring a lot of jobs for people in Mexico.
Yeah,
Like, nigga, what you talking about?
Man, them guys are out of touch, man. They don't know. It's all economics, man. It's all economics, gentrification,
And
racism. It's mixed
who
in
is
there.
being benefited.
Mm-hmm.
Because economics, sure.
And racism is being mixed in. It's being mixed in there. It's just, you can't blame the victims for the situation. All right, but it's hopefully Flint gets on its feet. Somebody needs to just pull up the bootstraps and invest in what's going on, man.
Man, I remember Ronnie King said, it's hard to pull up your bootstraps when you have no boots.
True that.
In fact, even if you did have boots, it's quite literally impossible to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Most of the boots I never had straps.
If you thought about it,
That's a dumb analogy. Yeah.
Well, I guess
you need a hand.
But they love saying that. You got to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Well, I guess it sounds better than saying lace up your own boot laces. All the boots I ever had laces on. So, real quick, man, before we end this, man, I wanted to mention, based off the last cast that we had, where we were talking about the statue for who was it? The general in the Civil War being removed in Charlottesville. Robert E. Lee. All right, so I found an article. Inside Northern Virginia.com had a article grouped to consider new names for the Jefferson Davis Highway area. Article's a little bit old, dated May 28, 2017. I didn't see any article on the actually if they had decided to change the name or not. Let me just read real quick.
They're just talking about it.
An advisory group will begin work next month to find a new name for the Alexandria stretch of U.S. Route 1, currently known as Jefferson Davis Highway. The HOC advisory group on renaming Jefferson Davis Highway will solicit public feedback and consider potential new names after the Alexandria City Council voted last fall to begin the process. Blah, blah, blah. Davis was the president of the Confederacy during the Civil War. Route 1 has been a particular target for officials and residents concerned about monuments and ceremonial titles honoring Confederate leaders. So there we go. And it ties into that Charlottesville thing, you know. Or do you think they'll have a protest to not change the name of Jefferson Davis Highway?
I hope so.
I don't think anybody cares.
That's a long road to protest, though.
Yeah.
Like, where you gonna gather?
Said while
What's
the Arlington
7-Eleven?
board has not formally considered a name change, Arlington representatives were selected to provide input on potential new names for the continuous stretch of road in both localities. So
I definitely we mentioned that last time. We were saying,
definitely did.
hey, why are they focusing on just this? They should also focus on the
We definitely
Jeff Davis
did.
Highway,
Yep.
right? And hey, it's cool because I think Jefferson pointed out earlier before the cast that this was something that's been actually in talks since
In
like
2011.
2011. They were presenting the same argument, but it's cool to see that now it actually might be gaining some momentum. Like traction is gaining, and we have a better chance, right? You just keep fighting for, especially when this is the right thing to do. Keep fighting for it. Like we have to make a point and keep pushing it. And hopefully,
America
we'll be able
can't
to
blame
change it.
nobody but themselves, man. This country was built off of the backs of racism,
Mhm.
and even between the Irish and whatever, Irish and Spanish and Scottish and English,
Welsh and Polish.
Welsh.
exactly. Like, so you can't blame
Native
nobody but
Americans.
yourself for this. Like, if there's any people who don't want to change it, me personally, I didn't defend that group's. I didn't defend the fact that I didn't want the statue changed from Robert E. Lee. I was just saying that last cast that they have the right to protest if they wanted to.
Yeah, they do.
But at the same time, man, you can't fight the current, man. Just change it. Fine, fuck it. Change all of it. You know what I mean? Change the Redskins. Change
gonna
Robert E.
affect you.
Lee. Change
Whatever.
Jefferson Davis Highway.
fix it. Do the right thing.
Why
man.
he sound a little salty when he said Redskins?
I think that there is, and I just want to point out, because you guys both came to my house, and that Redskins basement, right? That was not all my idea. A lot of that stuff down there, was bought for me. Like whenever there's like a Father's Day or a birthday or something, they know I like the team, so they'll just buy. Let me buy this thing. Let me buy this fat head. Let me buy this. So it's just all conglomerated up. You know what I mean? I didn't set out to specifically make it that way, but
That's what you grew up with, man.
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like,
nobody's dissing the fact that people
oh no, y'all
like
are
the
dissing my
resident-
team.
No,
you're
we're
dissing
not
my
dissing
team.
the fact that
you hate
I'm
these
just saying, I just
motherfuckers,
don't
right?
like. But imagine,
You hate
if
them, man.
But imagine in the future when they change the name, that'll be vintage.
Oh, they have to change it.
It'll be
It's
vintage.
going to happen. I mean,
It's
they're
gonna
just-
go up and
It's gonna go up.
Mhm.
Hang on to it. You might want to encase that in plastic.
They got to change it, man. Because if it was me, I would have just changed it by now. Just move on. I mean, if you'd have changed it
You have
10
to
years ago,
laminate
we
that
would have been
fat
moved
head.
on by now. Everybody would have their new jerseys, and the team name would be settled in, and just change it. You know?
I mean, it wasn't even that big of a deal when we changed the Washington Bullets.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I know
Like,
there
it
were people
wasn't-
that didn't like it though. I
like
do
the
remember that
Wizards
shit.
was still a stupid name.
It's
to choose,
yeah,
man.
still super
Nobody cared that. Like,
But
I
the fact
remember
that,
hearing
the fact that
them
we were the
change it.
murder capital and then we had the Washington Bullets, it's like, come on now.
It's like
that didn't help.
I still stand by the fact, and we had this argument a couple casts ago, that when you start changing these things, there is a certain element of
when does it stop?
forgetting your history. You know what I mean? Like it, and as much as we don't like it because it comes from this racist background that America has, Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederate States of America. That did happen. That thing did happen.
I think the
I heard some crazy
I think
theory,
the time
like-
and place is always appropriate. Like, so if we talked about him in history class, that's cool.
Mhm.
I don't know if we need to continue to have something like that.
Could we talk about how long the Confederacy even lasted?
Well, okay. Well,
It was like 4-5 years.
I heard some crazy theory like that America never actually got back together after the United States. You know what I mean? That's when they started. The United States became a corporation at that point. You know, that's when
Oh, yeah.
DC got its 10-mile stretch of this is DC. It's a separate state from the rest of America. You know what I mean? Like after you have a civil war, the country shattered. There's no country to put back together, so you have to rebuild and start something new. You know, I don't know. This is a crazy theory, but there is a little element of forgetting your history in that thing, man. I mean, he was a president of the Confederate States of America. That thing did happen. You know, it did happen.
So I hate to always,
So,
I hate to
okay.
always say this though, but like history, yes, we don't want to forget about it, but also we need to remember who's writing history.
The
Who are the
victors.
people?
The victors always
The
write
victors
history.
are writing.
Yeah, but it's history. Okay, so if you want to start changing that, when do you decide to change the name of the Washington Monument? You know, George Washington was a slave owner.
Yeah,
You know,
it was a
he
Washington
did
Monument.
heinous
Also the first
things.
president.
What about the Jefferson Memorial? You got to consider changing the name of that. You know, and I was looking at this guy named, of course, I mentioned guys named Jordan Maxwell. He was talking about symbolism, right?
Mhm.
He was saying that us as Americans, we're so used to seeing things in our everyday life that we don't stop to think about where these things came from. You know, and
Absolutely.
like how you'll have there's a picture of the symbol of fascism on the Capitol podium in the Capitol building. It's like a bundle of sticks with a hatchet head coming out of it. And that's the fascist symbol, the same symbol that Mussolini had.
I've actually heard
Where
of
is
it.
it? Where is it?
Absolutely.
The Nazism, Hitler had that symbol, and it's in the I think the Senate speaking room in the Capitol building. It's a picture if you Google that joint, and it's the same exact symbol. And it's fascism is when corporations run your government, you know. And he said that, you know, he was just saying that we see symbolism all over the place, and we just don't think about it. We just say, oh, you know, you see a statue on the top of the Capitol building, but you don't know that's
ignorance. That's
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I agree. Like, we should definitely know our history. But as far as what we want to praise and what we want to condemn in history,
now is setting up,
there's two different
a
ways of-
monument praising, or is that just
I would argue, yeah. You wouldn't set up the monument to Hitler. Why?
that
Because
yeah.
they might have a monument to Hitler
I'm sure somebody
in Germany.
does.
They
So
might.
somebody's got a statue in this
He
house,
was a
right?
historical figure then.
But, on public
but they banned a lot
property,
of Nazi
on public
memorabilia.
land, right? Like, why would we set up a monument to Hitler? We defeated Hitler, right? He was our
Well, we
enemy.
wouldn't.
Well, he was our enemy. So why wouldn't we? Because he's not somebody we want to praise or somebody we want to recognize as being a good person worth our interest or worth our
that's
time
it.
and energy.
Exactly. And it's there's a picture of it actually in the Senate building.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking
Right to the
about.
right and left of
I've
where
actually
they
seen.
speak.
I've actually seen the fascist
I've seen
axe
it before.
symbol multiple times.
That's wild. When I saw that, I was like,
Mhm.
wow, why does nobody ever ask the question about like why is that there? Where'd that come from?
It's on our dime.
What the what? It's on our dime. Oh, what about? It's on my dime. I've never seen that like that.
It's an older version.
Fascism.
But
Yeah,
anyways,
it's called a fasci. That's what that is. A bundle of sticks with a hatchet head.
it was on the dime for a while.
Yeah, it's crazy. They actually have a picture of Obama speaking in this Senate House, and it's right there on the sides. It's right there on the sides of him. Even in the
Probably
Jefferson
brought it with
Memorial, I think when he's sitting on a chair and his hands on a chair,
Yeah.
there's fasci sitting right there on the
United States Senate.
on the side of it. So I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
why
you're
is that there? You know, but that was a good question, man. Like, why the fuck is that there? Why
We should
are those
definitely
things there?
Well, see, exactly. So that's why we need to ask questions. Like, it's cool for people to bring that up, but you know who we should be asking? We should be asking people in charge,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what our media is
That's
for.
Obama sitting there, and the two fasci is right there on the
Yep.
side.
Jesus,
I'm like, why
nobody
is that
ever
there?
would have known what those were.
And he was just saying, like,
Get
symbolism.
educated, yo. Get
Like,
educated people.
We don't see these things, or even on the back of your dollar, how you have that eye elevated, the all-seeing eye. It's like that is actually a symbol, in Freemasonry, and we see these things and we don't think about it. We just say, oh, this is just a design they picked. But why is it there?
It's strategically picked.
Yeah.
Strategic, man. Or even like I don't want to get too much into religion, but even the whole idea of like adding, in God we trust,
Mhm.
and all these things onto the dollar bill, like these are things that were planned out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man. Well,
I mean, we know that a lot of the founding fathers of this country were kind of into occult things. Like, they were into.
you would
they
have to
had
be a
lodges and they
founding
were
father,
into-
right?
But
Like, you
they
couldn't be a poor man.
They were
But they were
original
also-
thinkers.
They were also
different.
atheists, though. A lot of
And
them
a lot
were
more atheists
non-religious.
or Rosicrucians
Mhm.
or
I heard a Gnostic thrown around. I'm not even
Gnostics,
sure what a
yeah.
Gnostic is. Man. I think it's a Gnostic.
They believe in Gnostics. I would say they believe in a higher power, kind of deity, but
Mhm.
they're maybe not the Judeo-Christian one, but they believe in something.
Yeah.
There's high or something.
Maybe it goes back to that planet. I don't know. That dude, George Maxwell, he was throwing some
And
stuff.
the
I was just
Bureau.
like, what?
Oh, shit. What if?
That's
What
like
if
Nibiru.
what if
He was saying
George
that
Washington?
he was saying
an
that
alien from
it's
Nibiru?
on such an oblong kind of rotation that it comes back into our vicinity is like every 3,000 years or something like that.
Dude, you heard Absol got a song. Nibiru.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I knew I heard that word before, man. Where did I get CERN from? I don't know. That might be another name for it or something. I don't know.
I mean, other than
CERN.
I'm probably gonna try another name.
But he was saying he thinks that they actually dropped humans off. Like they
Yeah.
stopped by and created us, and then they left.
they'll
You know
tie
what I
that
mean?
into that Zachary Sitchin whole thing.
He
with
was
the
getting into
whole,
like Nephilim and Jinn,
Mhm.
and how different cultures had different names for them, but they're shapeshifters, and they don't actually they look human, but they're not. And I'm like, man, you going off into some sci-fi
This is
stuff
like some
now. Yeah.
Prometheus theory as well.
I'm like, man, that would be kind of cool, man. I don't know if it'd be cool, but it would explain a lot.
I don't know. We have a lot of
Human,
hard stuff to work with too, like science and
Yeah.
and
so it's like, how do you
records.
prove that? It seems kind of
Right.
magical. Seems kind of sci-fi for that to be real, but just considering different ideas.
We can talk about that probably on the next cast. We
Mm-hmm.
should dig into some sci-fi stuff on the next cast.
Oh, I love that.
Mix a little Joe Rogan in there.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit of
Neil deGrasse Tyson, if you ever
Neil
want to stop by.
deGrasse Tyson. You know,
Neil
what I'm
deGrasse
saying?
Tyson's cool, but
Some
he just
Graham Hancock.
he sounds so right.
You know what? Just bring some wine.
Like, you right, Neil.
Bring some
Sure.
wine, we got you a seat.
Some Bill Nye.
Yeah. Oh, man. Any other articles you guys want to mention? Yeah, it's been a good episode 22, man. I like it a lot.
Yeah, man.
It's great.
Thank you guys again for joining us.
Definitely, man. Thank you guys. I wish we had we need to start some like outro music. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to be like this. You know, we need like a live band to sit here and cast with us. So we can,
And take us out.
yeah. Like, take this
All right, everybody.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. We'll catch y'all next time.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, yep, that's episode 22 in the bag.
Like, subscribe, comment. We trying to hear what you guys want us to talk about. Any suggestions?
Let us know what you think as well.
Any ideas?
I'll be telling my friends that listen, man, like, yo, drop a comment. Like, if there's something you think, we want to add to what we said or something like that, like, go ahead, man, put it in there, man. Put it in there so we can know. But yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, guess that's going to take us out. Episode 23.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.